welcome to episode 214 of Zapped to the Past. I am Adrian Mills. I'm joined as always by Mr. Graham Raddings. If you haven't listened before, this is a podcast where we discuss games that were released for the Commodore 64. We are using the magazine Zap 64 as a monthly guide for the games to focus on, but we are in no way affiliated with Zap 64 itself. This week, we start our look at July 1992 and the first batch of games reviewed in issue 86 of Zap 64, along with what was also going on in the UK singles and albums chart that month. Graham, if a woodchuck could chuck rock, how many rocks could a woodchuck chuck if it chucked rocks all night long?
We've only gone and landed in July 1992, and it was a particularly sunny July, as I recall. I mean, in the UK, we always plan for water shortages, even though it's a mostly rainy island. And of course, we also ban the use of hose pipes, those dastardly water-wasting hose pipes. So in a sunny month, which also saw the 25th Olympic Games open in Barcelona in Spain, we head to the jumpy rock-filled platforms of a cave world, in the unusual guise of a pot-bellied cave dweller, intent on belly-bumping as much as possible in the surprising 8-bit conversion of Chuck Rock. And then we defy all the 8-bit odds and aim to take on the might of a massive naval fleet and all of its warplanes and ordnance in a tiny, tiny helicopter. Yes, that's right, a suicide mission with lives in the utterly dreary, side-scrolling shenanigans of Steigar. Do you know, I don't remember a lot about the 1992 Olympics because I was usually out at the pub with Adrian drinking heroic volumes of booze. That's just how we coped with the heat and the hose pipe ban back then. So while we wonder at exactly how much time we spent getting drunk in the 90s, we climb on board the Deja Vu Express and go for a jump on the miniature blocks of yet another platform cloner. This time, instead of an elephant or other character, we're a little dragon. But the basics are all the same, only much slower, in DJ Puff's Volcanic Caper. After that, we nip to the creepy house of a very kooky bunch on the hunt for some spooky adventures, only to find nobody home. And so much medium-res colour blend, it burns holes in your retinas. That's right, we're spending time with the Addams Family, before we finally explore what another Football Manager game looks like in a totally new typeface. Ooh, exciting. Yes, more teams, players, and pointless choices await us in The Match. Every time I see another Football Manager game, I wonder who on earth is buying them. I mean, at this point, we've got loads to choose from, 20 plus just from cult games alone, and they're all more or less the same. However, I guess they do have different fonts, and I can get behind that at least. Everything else is just tables and more tables, and we all know that football is a game all about its tables. There's a debate for There's a debate for people to have. The Chuck Rocks, the Woodchucks, the Chuck Rockers. Who knows?
I'm so glad I got that right in one take.
You did well, actually. Yeah, you know, with the Woodchuck Chuck and all the rest of it, and
I know
what they're called, tongue twisters, aren't they? That's what they're commonly known as.
Tied it in with the game for this week. It's all good. Did it? I did it. I was quite happy.
You didn't do the old pheasant plucker, whatever it was.
No. That's too dangerous. Chucking rocks and woodchucking, and that's all right. I do. Before we get going, there's a couple of things I just want to mention.
Okay.
So it was pointed out to us that you can control the speed and things in G-Lock. It was pointed out to us because if you put it on medium or hard mode, you can actually control the speed. And so I checked it out. Yes, you can. You can do full barrel rolls as well. It doesn't make the game any less shit. So it's still crap. So there you go. We also point out, and this is a conscious choice on my own, I didn't want to cover this. I don't care. It was Cover Girl Strip Poker was reviewed in last month's magazine, and I really didn't want to do it, so I didn't include it. And that's kind of it. So if anyone's noticed and gone, where's my Cover Girl Strip Poker review? That's what we're going to say about it. Got shit digitized graphics. Yeah, well, basically the only thing about it that was worth noting about was the shoddy shit, that went on behind the scenes where none of the models got paid or even knew they were in the game or anything. And it was also the last game from the sales curve, which is a bit of a sad thing because they did Swiv and Silkworm and things like that. But if you're wondering where's my Cover Girl Strip Poker review for the week, that's why. Who cares?
What Cover Girls?
It would have been a very short. I think it was Maria Whitaker, one I recognised. But, you wouldn't recognise them from the digitised images, of course.
Well, that's probably why they didn't get paid.
Probably. I have a feeling because when I read something about the Wikipedia, there was something about the Sunday Sport being involved. So I have a feeling it was just images from pictures that the Sunday Sport had maybe already paid for and things like that.
Yeah, badly digitized pictures. Yeah.
Garbage. So there you go. I just thought I'd mention those things anyway. Yeah, but so there you go. We have a cover to look at though, because it's a new month.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Yep. Cover. Woo.
Get on it. Get with it, you.
Yeah. No, I was just trying.
Anyway, this cover, it's weird. I don't understand it. The anatomy of this page breaks my head. It's like looking at the shunt.
What, from
The Society.
Society movie? Goodness me, there's the thing. What I didn't get, I mean, aside from the weird biological gymnastics that are going on there, and hands coming out of backs and arms
heads
sticking
coming out of stuff. There's 5 heads, and I can only see like 3 legs.
Aggressive twister aside, I just couldn't understand why you would do a poster a picture on the front of the cover that's not have a game that's in it. It's just about the fact that they've got an article. It seems really weird. They've never done that before.
Well, they did it last month for the football one.
I thought that was actually a game in it, or was that not a game?
No, that was just because they're reviewing every soccer game. So they're doing that. That's why they're doing it. I get your point, though.
Okay.
Like you've noted here, Addams Family is reviewed in this. Why not do an Addams Family picture?
I guess nobody's paying them. This explains why the magazine's slowly on its way out, because nobody's paying for the cover. Because that's soulless cover on a magazine would be expensive to get the front cover, and so you'd have to pay for it. And clearly, nobody wants to, because I think nobody's thinking they're thinking nobody's buying this, which they're probably right.
Yeah. Even Ocean had given up at this point, aren't they? Paying the
money.
Well,
the purchasing numbers for this must have dropped off massively. Yeah. So there's barely anybody buying Zap 64 by now, surely.
No. I mean, it's about 64 pages long. I mean, I do think that the only reason people are buying it now is to get a cheap load of games and demos for the demo tape. That's it, isn't it? That's all you're going to buy it for these days.
That's the only reason they're putting it on there. They didn't have that. Nobody'd buy it.
No, that's true. And the thing about this cover is, like you said, it's very odd. It's for every C64 wrestling and boxing game. None of them are... That's not boxing or wrestling going on there.
No, it's just a blatant fight.
Yeah. If this was like every C64 fighting game, I could get behind that.
Even then, it wasn't. It's more of a Street Fighter vibe, I think. I wonder if it's a cover that was rejected for not Street Fighter, sorry, one of those sort of side-scrolling beat-em-up type games.
Oh, like Renegade or something.
Yeah, I wonder if this was a Renegade cover that never made it.
Yeah, quite possibly, actually. Yeah, Renegade or Double Dragon or Final Fight or something.
It's got Double Dragon vibes, actually, and it kind of a little bit. It's, it's the Streets of Rage type vibe and that sort of Final Fight type vibe about it.
This certainly looks more belt scroller than... And is there really enough wrestling and boxing games to fill a feature? Is there a lot of them? We've looked at loads. We've not looked at that many.
I would say there's less than 10.
Yeah.
In total. The boxing games I can think of maybe 4 or 5 that you'd call boxing games.
Yeah.
Wrestling games I can think of maybe 2 or 3 tops.
Well, the Championship Wrestling,
Rock and Wrestle.
Rock and Wrestle.
Is there any others?
There was that. I think there was the port of the arcade one.
I think maybe 3 or 6. Like I said, I think there's probably less than 10 in total. But did you not read I suppose the article, if you'd have read it, would have...
I could have looked at the article, but no. But it just made me laugh going, I'm thinking, I can't name that many boxing games,
But they've also reviewed them before.
Yeah. So we know Barry McGuigan's is the best one. Why do you need to tell us that again?
No, I wonder if they did. I wonder if they came to a consensus on some really crap, like that crappy cartoon style one that was rubbish, or... I don't know.
It's an old one, isn't it?
Putting 100% full colour on a magazine that's been 100% full colour since it began seems odd to me.
Midway through, but it has been for a very long time.
It's always had colour in it. I mean, it's not maybe not a colour in every single page, but it's had colour. I think that's a little bit of a MacGuffin, and it's a bit stupid, and it's clearly designed to fill that bit of space for whatever reason.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get it.
I mean, the fact that you can win leather bum bags from US Gold. Is there anything who'd want to win that?
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, plus 10 jazzy joysticks. I know. So I wonder if I'd like to know if there's any of our listeners who actually won any of those prizes. I'd like to know I'd like to hear from anybody in any of our listenership that ever won a prize through Zap. I think we've heard from 1 or 2 over the time. But did anyone out there win a leather bum bag from US Gold? And if you did, what was it like? What was the quality like? I'll wager not as good as it's probably made out to be. But the reviews are way better than the actual product. Probably. I mean, that would be their MO, wouldn't it? Really so. Yeah. And there's also an incredible Indiana Jones poster free inside. Only 3 years since the last film.
Why is it incredible? Yeah, well, they've got a game imminent, isn't there? So.
Yeah, Fate of Atlantis or something.
Yeah. What about the old cassette tape on here? Insects in Space was all right, wasn't it? That's the thingy one, isn't it?
Sensible software, isn't it?
Glider Rider. Right. We didn't like Glider Rider, though, did we? That was a bit better on the format.
Hard to judge the height.
Yeah. But that was the Steez, wasn't it? Steve, what's he called?
I can't remember.
Pickford. It's the Pickfords, isn't it?
Oh, it was Pickford. Was it? Yeah, it was a Pickford one, wasn't it? I think. Yes.
Subsonic is an exclusive game by top programmers, Adrian. Top programmers.
Yeah, I know what image is right in your head right now because it's the same one that's in mine. It's the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I know. I feel like leaning forward and going, who? Top programmers.
Those fools don't know what they got there. I know what I got here.
Did you actually play both parts then in the same voice? That's weird because Marion sounded like Indiana then for a minute, and neither of them sounded like they sounded now like him. But I knew what you meant.
I just thought it was best if I didn't try.
No, I don't.
I can't do a Harrison Ford, and I certainly can't do a Karen Allen.
No. Well, I think you're probably giving yourself a disservice there. I bet you do a marvellous Karen Allen. You know.
To be fair, I've been known
and then
to.
Final game in there is Bug Bomber. And then there's also this Dynamite demo, 20 different levels. Technically, 20 different levels in a demo. Is that a demo? There's been games released fully that are less than that.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I do like the drawing. It does give me, like I said, society vibes because I can't make out the anatomy.
Well, they're a bit squishy squashy, and it's sort of. They're all misshapen of head. Is it me, or just their heads misshapen in some way?
It's very. It's like Battle of the Troglodytes or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon that's a cover he's had. He's had that image a while. I don't think it was probably one of his best. He's had it a while, and he's just, he's used it for this because it's kind of relevant, but I don't believe this was drawn specifically for that because I don't think that would have been a thing.
No, I don't. Do you want to know what games were in that
well, I
article,
think
by the way?
It would behoove us not to at least say what they were.
All right, so Championship Wrestling.
All right, that was all right.
WWF, the Yoshi one.
Yeah, it was all right. Remember?
Rock and Wrestle.
Yeah.
Tag Team Wrestling.
Don't remember that.
Remember that.
Vaguely.
The Champ. Is this under boxing? So that's all the wrestling games.
Right,
boxing
okay.
is the Champ. Remember that being crap. Oh, Frank Bruno's, of course.
Frank Bruno's, yeah.
Baron McGuigan.
Yeah.
Fight Night.
Yeah, that's the quirky one.
But by fair means or foul.
Oh, yeah.
Crap one,
About that. That's right, that.
Star Rank Boxing 2. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
They're making it up. TKO. That was the accolade one for the first person, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Final Blow.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Was the Anarchy conversion? I can't remember. It wasn't really good.
Maybe, I think. Yeah. Street Cred Boxing.
Okay. Rock and Wrestle was in there. Yeah, Rock and Wrestle, yeah.
Yeah. And Devastating Blow.
No, I'm not sure. Maybe that's what you win. I don't know, but
I don't know. That's it. That 2-page spread or 3-page spread got the cover. It's like with nothing to do with it. I don't know. Why don't we just do all fighting games?
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess they're just running out of. They're running out of things. That's why, because they're running out of games. They're running out of things. They know it. They know what's happening.
Yeah. True. But we still have some games to review.
It isn't empty, is it? It's not just imagine turning the cover and there's just one page, which is probably what's going to happen in about 3 episodes, but
quite possibly. We've got 10 games. If you like all this banter and these, this hard fact,
investigative journalism. Adrian,
yeah, if you like all that, then you should patronize us by going to our Patreon and giving us some of your hard-earned cash. And you can do that at patreon.com/Zapped to the past, and then you can join us on our Discord, and you can get the episodes early and ad-free, and anything else we can think of.
Exactly. And if it helps you with your decision, just imagine AD in a Zardoz mankini, and you can be tucking that £5 note in his pants.
I'll dance for you too. I dance.
He'll be dancing for hours if you put it in there.
Oh, £10. Oh, God. He won't stop all weekend. But yes, I will. And you can get discounts at the shop as well, can't they? I think.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, special Patreon or patron offers. Yeah, absolutely.
It also behooves us to say that we're going to Zap Live as well, aren't we?
That's the plan. Yeah, we're going. Yeah,
so May Zap Live in May.
16th,
we will
15th,
May the 16th. Yeah, 16th. We're just going for the Saturday. We won't be there for the Friday night, but we're there for the Saturday. If you see us, come along and say hello.
Howdy doodle.
We're genial chaps. We'll probably be sat in the bar. So come along and say hello and have a chat. We also have a Ko-fi, kofi.com/Zapped to the past. And if you can't do any of those things, that's great. But we understand it's fine. Just rate and review us. Give us a review, give us a rating. I don't think we get many of those, but it'd be cool if people could actually do that. That would be a nice thing to do for all this stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
There you go. That's that bit done. You got anything you want to add, Graham, before we get to the games?
No, I think we should just get on with them because that's why we're here.
That is why we're here. Okay, right then. Let's get to our very first game of July 1992. And well, our first and only gold medal of the year is finally here in the shape of the prehistoric platformer Chuck Rock.
Whoa.
Listed as on sale for £9.99 on tape, $14.99 on disc. It earned a massive 96%. Puts it into very gentrified territory at the top of the C64 tree. That does, doesn't it? Right.
Is it the only gold medal so far for this year?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, we're not any others. 992, yeah. Does it deserve to be there, though? Is this a late-stage classic?
Did I take this job for a quick buck?
We will never know the answer to these questions. Don't step in it. That's for Gary. Anyway, the team here that converted this from the 16-bit original is so familiar. We saw them last week. It was published by Genius, and the original developer was Core Design.
Makes
Core
sense.
Design, those the people that went on to make Tomb Raider. The coders were Luca Zari and Marco Corazza. The graphics were by Andrea Pacelli and Marco Corazza. And the music here is by Paolo Predonzani. Those names sound familiar.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's because this was the same team that did Over the Net.
It was the same team, bless them.
Yeah,
bless their Italian socks. Team. They're well-made, extremely nice linen designer socks.
Yes, absolutely. Before we move on to the game, though, let us actually talk about the release of this, or rather, the lack of release.
What?
It seems that this was only ever released in Italy.
Okay, really?
And God knows how they got a review of this. I don't know. And as ever, the Amazing Games That Weren't website has the full story. It's got the full lowdown. And I'm just going to quote a little bit from there. It says, it was found that during development of the game, Core decided to cancel the project due to believing that the C64 market was dwindling. Genius wrote to Core and got written agreement to have the game completed and released only within Italy. In an interview with Genius, manager-coordinator Raphael Valencis, it is suggested that working with Core was a rocky time, with no real sense of belief that the game was going to be anywhere near as great as the Amiga title. Although Core never got the title released in the UK and around Europe, it did congratulate the Genius team for doing such a superb job. That's bittersweet, isn't it? Yeah, he did really good, but we're not pointing it out. Okay. But it's odd, this, because it clearly made its way to the magazines at the time, because Zapped reviewed it. Commodore Format reviewed this as well, giving it 91%.
Okay.
And you may have thought with reviews like that Core would have had a bit more faith in releasing it, even maybe just at a budget price. I'm sure it would have sold pretty well, but alas, it was not to be. So this only came out in Italy. But they've tracked it down, Games That Weren't tracked it down, and you can go on the website and have a look. It's there. You can download that game. And they've also got the full instructions. They are in Italian, though. I ran it through the AI translator, and it produced this story for the game. Okay, so Chuck is the typical caveman, sitting comfortably on a stone chair, watching the latest TV news while sipping his favourite drink, a nice cold beer. In short, the usual, typical and monotonous life of a caveman. Meanwhile, Ophelia, Chuck's wife, was busy hanging out the laundry to dry, since the old washing machine with automatic drying had broken down yet again. Life went on peacefully until one day an old admirer of Ophelia, the diabolical Gary Gritter, suddenly showed up and violently attacked Chuck's wife with his usual blow to the head using a nail-studded club while she was hanging the laundry. I've just noted here, you know how some things just don't age very well? Like, bit of domestic violence by Gary Gritter. Okay. Chuck didn't notice anything until he called his beloved wife to bring him another beer while he was watching the derby of his favourite team. But Ophelia didn't come, losing patience completely after the long wait, a few seconds. Chuck rushed outside his home, a villa with a swimming pool, to severely scold his wife for her lack of promptness in answering his calls. But to his great surprise, she was gone. His better half had disappeared. After the initial moment of confusion, Chuck noticed the first disturbing clues and realised something terrible must have happened. His wife had surely been kidnapped by a creature that hadn't even bothered to hide its tracks. He had to hunt down that monster and absolutely find his wife. His quiet, monotonous life was about to take a dramatic turn. Goes on to say, Chuck can perform a large number of moves. He can walk, swim, jump and lift stones. Stones can be used as weapons by throwing them at the various dinosaurs or monsters that inhabit the landscape. A second use for stones is to overcome tall natural obstacles. In this case, simply place the stone against the obstacle and jump on top of it. Another deadly weapon Chuck has is his enormous belly. By covering enemies with his stomach, they are crushed and disappear instantly. Some require more than one belly slam to be eliminated. When Chuck dives and swims underwater, a special indicator on the panel shows how much oxygen he has left, changing colour until it becomes blue. To refill his air, simply make Chuck surface for a moment. There you go. That's the instructions.
There they are.
It's okay. This is a direct port of the 16-bit game. And And it's really as close as you could have possibly got on the C64 to the cartoon-like presentation of the Amiga original, pretty much, in game that is. The game does omit the intro to the Amiga version, where Mr. Gritter kidnaps Ophelia, sort of full-screen animated sort of thing going on. It's impressive on the Amiga, but, it is what it is. But you do get the characters of the game playing instruments when the game loads up, along to the theme tune, just like you get on the Amiga. It's pretty well done. And though the music lacks the sample-heavy nature of the Amiga version, it's not too bad. Seeing all the characters play their instruments with a well-drawn version of the Chuck Rock logo before we see high scores and credits is a nice start to the game. And reminding me, it's one we will see down the line in the opening to Banjo-Kazooie. If you remember the opening to that, where they're all, ding, 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 he's playing those banjo and everything. And stuff. There you go. Once you've had your fill of this, press fire. The first level loads in. I tried a disc crack of this and a cartridge version, and the cartridge version was obviously much more accessible. And if you want the proper challenge without using cheats, it's the only way to play this these days. Is the loading on the disc version a bit on the slow side, I found, and you only seem to get a couple of levels per load. Forget the cartridge version now if you want to play this, because it's all instantaneous and works a treat. It actually makes this game a lot slicker. And also the disc version I played had crashed at the first boss, so that one good. Anyway, the game. This is what you call, I suppose, an action platformer. Maybe, I guess you'd call it. You play the eponymous Chuck Rock, must make your way through numerous levels to rescue the damsel in distress. It's very simple. It is what it is. Ophelia's been kidnapped. You go through various levels and get her back. It's one of those. Most of the screen is taken up with the game itself, a standard 2D side-on platformer, with the UI at the bottom showing your health as a slowly emptying heart, your score, and your lives denoted by Chuck's face and a number. Controls are the usual: left and right to walk, up to jump. You can control his jump in the air, which is quite good. So you can move back and forth. In the air as well, you can press fire to kick. And if you hold down fire when you do this, my advice is hold down fire when you do this, as the kick is deadly to all enemies for the full flight of your jump. So it doesn't just sort of do it the moment you do it. You sort of kick the jump out, hold fire, and it'll go all the way down. If you land on something, it'll kick them and kick them off. So you won't lose health that way. So hold down fire when you're jumping around the place. You can crouch down obviously, and you can pick up rocks, both small and large, with down and fire. There's two types of rocks, the small and large ones. If you're carrying the large one, you move slower and you jump less. Pretty simple. But if you're carrying the smaller one, you still have your sort of full range of movement. When you're carrying a rock, you press fire. That throws the rock in the direction you are facing. You can throw smaller rocks further than the big rocks. Carrying rocks also protects you from attacks from above, such as sort of coconuts or whatever thrown from trees, or rocks that bounce down slopes. They'll sort of bounce off the top of you. So that's quite handy. And you can also press fire when standing still to attack with Chuck's prodigious belly. And that's sort of your standard sort of basic attacks. There are plenty of enemies to avoid or kill, such as small dinosaurs of the crawling and flying types. Move about, and contact with these will stun Chuck and drain a bit of your health. Around the level, you can find hearts to refill a small part of the lost health, and various bits of food for extra points. It's noted in the Zapped review, actually, as well, and I thought this, that the food seems logical that you just get points for that and it doesn't refill your health. You'd have thought it would do.
You think so?
You would have thought so, yeah, but it doesn't, just gives you points. So it's a bit like, is our points part of this game? It's left to, it's one of them. Seems odd. And also dotted around the landscape as well, there are also various dinosaurs that can help you to navigate the levels. So you can hop on the back of brontosauruses to cross hazardous swamps. You can belly butt pterodactyls to get them to carry you to inaccessible platforms, and throw rocks on the heads of alligators to spring you up to higher platforms. So there's some nice, there's some nice mechanics in this, and sort of different sort of ways that the game kind of lets you navigate the space in and of itself. And it's all here. These are all in the Amiga version. The level layouts are pretty much identical to the Amiga version as far as I could see, and it's all here in the C64 version. Later levels see moving platforms going about, whales to carry about instead of brontosauruses, and there's a real variety of content here throughout the 5 different worlds you go through. I think it's 5. There's multiple levels within each, so there's sort of 3 or 4 levels, or 2, 3, 4 levels within each section before you get to a boss. The goal is essentially, though, to move to the right and navigate the level in order to get to the next one for more of the same until you reach one of the game's 5 bosses. This is not a Mario flat left to right scrolling platformer. It moves, scrolls up, scrolls down, you go back and forth on yourself. It's an open level that you kind of move around in, but essentially your exit is always at the right somewhere. So you're just heading to the right, and that's what you want to do. So once you get through the level, you get one of the game's 5 bosses. And the levels see you move through sort of basic rocks and caves and leaves and trees and that sort of thing. You then get onto sort of some crystal caves, they look like to me. And then you run into some swamps, so you've got to swim through parts of the level. As noted in the instructions, Chuck can hold his breath but for only so long, though, and this is shown by the face in the UI turning slowly purple, denoting you need to surface for air. Something we could see something we would see Core revisit in Tomb Raider when Lara's diving around underwater and stuff like that. And obviously a bit later with... I'm not sure if we see underwater stuff these days, or prior to this, because it reminds me of Sonic as well, when Sonic was underwater, and things like that. So I don't know if this... Had we had sort of having to breathe in games before this? We come across that mechanic? I don't know if we had.
I think we had seen it in something, but I'm struggling to think what it was.
Yeah. But we'll definitely... Obviously, this will become a thing, where underwater swimming sort of thing and getting your breath back. After that, we reach the ice and snow levels with frozen animals sliding about. And finally, the barren bone lands. I've given them these names. That's what they look like to me. Each of these levels ends with a confrontation against a large enemy. So we get a charging Triceratops as the first boss, and we got to throw a rock off a ledge and hit it several times, picking the rock back up and getting out of the way of its charge. Then we get a leaping saber-toothed tiger that we have to kick a lot of times. Then we have Nessie, who's a large underwater monster that we've got to kick a lot of times while we're underwater, and obviously before we run out of air. Then we face off against the large woolly mammoth. And finally, the large dinosaur in shorts, some boxing gloves for some reason. Don't know why. Kill him, and we complete the game. We get a final image of the dinosaur knocked out and Chuck making off with Ophelia once more.
Okay.
And I must admit, I don't get this ending.
No.
Where's Gary Gritter? Where is he? Where's he gone?
We don't want him.
Well, no, we don't want him. But like in the intro to because this is the same on the Amiga version. I had to watch through an Amiga playthrough. And Gary Gritter at the start is like he's this sort of slimy kind of dude with a big quiff. And so he's just a bloke. So suddenly, where's this boxing dinosaur come from as the final boss? There's nothing in the story. Nothing I can make out. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there. But where is it? Where's Chuck? Sorry, where's Gary gone? Where's he gone? I don't know. I didn't understand. But anyway, that's the game. It's a platform. It's easy enough to understand, and it plays pretty well, avoiding a lot of the annoyances that do plague C64 platform games. I thought it controlled pretty well. Jumps were snappy. The movement is responsive. Throwing rocks and kicking things, that's all good. Well done. I found hitting things with your belly, though, to be a little hit and miss. As often, they would also tend to hit me at the same time, which kind of negated the point of the attack. I also found the very, very short running cycles of the enemies for some reason annoying. They'd only run like about 2 steps one way, 2 steps the other. So actually getting in to get a belly butt on them was really tricky because you couldn't sort of wait for them because your gap to get in at them was quite small. And I found that mechanic was just needed tightening up a bit. They just need to move further. They're on big platforms. But on the whole, this plays pretty well, I thought. It looks nice too in times. The sprites are all medium res, so it has a good consistency of style. There's a lot of colour and tones and detail in the background. It's obviously not as nice as the Amiga version, but considering the difference, this looks and plays smoothly. Picking up rocks and carrying them and throwing them, well implemented. Never had any issues there either. Getting them onto higher platforms, it all kind of worked. So, in getting this Amiga version onto here, they've done a really, really good job. The scrolling is smooth in all directions. Didn't really notice any glitches or issues with animations or anything like that, or, glitching sprites. Everything worked fine. Sound effects are okay. Can be a bit annoying, though. I didn't like the sound of the jump in this. It doesn't seem to fit the tone of the game. The boop, boop. Yeah, it's like, it didn't feel, it's all twee and a bit paradroid-like sound effects in this. Sci-fi-ish. It should be, if you're going to do a jump in a caveman thing, it should be more of a it should be grounded sound effects, thuds and things like that. Not twee sci-fi stuff. The footsteps were good, though. I did like the sound of the footsteps, but the alarm of flying attacks, that annoyed me. Not the most annoying sound effect we'll see this episode, but it did annoy me. And Chuck's jump is just not needed. Again, I know there's none in the Amiga. Some in-level music wouldn't have gone amiss.
Yeah, it's missing that.
Just some just something nice and sort of prehistoric. Just some sort of drums drumming away in the background. I think it really does miss that. But I certainly will say this is one of the better platformers we've seen on the system, and it's a really good conversion when all things are considered. All the Amiga levels are here, all the mechanics are here too, and they work in exactly the same way as they do. It's not perfect, though. I've spoken before of blind jumps in games.
Yeah.
And there are a few of those in the game. They're not deadly. It's not too bad. I just don't like not knowing where I'll be jumping to next, because quite often I'll land on an enemy or I'll land on something else. Again, we'll see it in another game this week, but just show me where I'm going to jump to. Give me some inkling. But that's the thing from the Amiga version as well. So I think that's just a design of the original. The biggest issue I had, though, with this game is what happens when you die. Levels are quite tough as they go on. They sprawl in all directions. There's copious amounts of enemies and traps to avoid. One issue I had, though, with the visuals was the thorny bushes. They do look thorny, so I kept losing health to them, so I just walk into them forgetting that they were thorns. You kind of bounce off them, because like in the Amiga version, they look all prickly and thorny, and they're well-defined. Here, they're just sort of a green blob.
Yeah.
And you'll die. Because of course you'll die, you run out of energy. And when you do, it's back to the start of the level. You have to do it all over again.
Yes.
And this is immensely frustrating and something I just don't get. Just have you respawn where you die.
Yep.
You've already lost a life, so you've been punished, right? You've taken your punishment, you've lost a life, you've got less lives to carry on with. But to expect you to make it through every level without dying, that's just a step too far for me. That was like... That really annoyed me. It feels too punitive and makes what was an enjoyable experience into a repetitive and frustrating one and mars the whole game for me. There's no doubt this is an excellent port of the Amiga game. They've done a really good job to cram all this into the C64. I just wish they had taken the time to alleviate some of the flaws of the original and make this a more player-friendly game than it is. And that point is a big one for me, because it's like I played it and I got quite far into a level and then I died and I was back at the beginning. I was like, are you kidding? Are you absolutely joking? I've got to do all that. Oh, just annoying. It's not worth a gold medal, I have to say. This is not worth a gold medal for me. Probably a Sizzler. I think I'd give it around about 90 because I think it is a very good example of the genre and it pushes the C64 quite well. And as a port from the Amiga version, it's really, really very good. It just has some issues which I can't overlook. So it's an impressive example of what the machine could still do in the right hands at this point. One of the better games we've seen and one of the better platformers on the machine. But you learn those levels because you got to do them in one life because there's no other choice because you can't. There's no continues. So that's the big downside of this game for me. But I did enjoy it mostly. Apart from that, what did you think?
I thought it is a good conversion of the Amiga version. I remember playing it on the Amiga, but I was never that struck on it on the Amiga either. And that's partly because I didn't buy into its sort of mystique, its characterization. I just didn't buy into that. I think I wasn't really into platformers at this point. Latterly, I got more into them as time went on, and they just became a game that I could actually do, or relatively do. And I really found these kind of games more on the mobile platforms. So at this point in time, when they're back in the Amiga, I wasn't into this really, but I did always have a sort of a look at them. And when these came along, interesting to look at. This is a nice looking game on the C64. It's got its heart is in the right place. There's just a few limitations of it that kind of just, I guess, like you, they just annoyed me. I mean, I won't go into all the the in-depth description of them all. You've done a very capable job there. But for the same things, that no in-game music, it just needed something burble in the background, even if it was just like dum 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 dum. Even that Tarzan game, that Martek one, that kind of weird version of the Tarzan thing, didn't it? That Hubbard did.
Yeah.
But
what was that?
That was what it sounds like. It's got that weird instrumentation on it.
You went into like a 70s club crew thing.
That was Krusty the Clown's version. Krusty the Clown sings Hubbard. Hey, hey, hey. Anyway, I digress massively. So it looked all right, this. It played okay. I don't like the blind jumps thing either. It's not the only game that does it, and it seems to be a thing. I didn't like it. My main two things about this were it wasn't a massive amount of fun. I think it really wanted to be, and it wasn't. And I think there's a bit of a misfire in that. And I think that's because it's not got a likable character in it particularly. It's just not particularly fun. No, it's no Mario, is it? It's not got any of those quirks. And the very thing that it's playing on, this idea of Chuck Rock, it doesn't sort of exploit that really. And little sound effects that would have been more thematically aligned, some of the characterizations of the objects in the game would have been a bit better. And if I wasn't just blind jumping around all the time, I think I'd have enjoyed it a bit more. And then, of course, you've got the killer blow. I die and I start 26 miles from where I've just got to. I'm like, oh, I can't be. Those kind of games just make me go, no thanks, I'm turning you off.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
The big mystery is it worth 96%? And I have to say, graphically, maybe, and certainly not orally, graphically, and, in the terms of its conversion, I'd have put it in the high 80s, maybe. but I wouldn't have given this a gold medal, and I wouldn't be at 96%. We're aligning this over a very elite group of games, and it's nowhere near that. But it would have been in the high 80s for me. This is a good platform game if you like them, but it's just missing a little bit of its atmosphere. But how many times am I going to say that? It's like, just put music in it. It's got 3 channels, for goodness sake. You can make a background music with 2 channels and still have a channel spare for the sound effects, or just cut a channel out. They've been doing it in loads of games for years. Anyway, I did enjoy it-ish, but it was not that much fun, and it was a little bit, I don't know, it didn't quite hit the mark. I don't think it was cute enough to be cute, wasn't fun enough to be fun, was too annoying to be anything else, so it just kind of landed in that sort of annoying cusp. There's a Venn diagram, isn't there? Annoying and okay, and it's right in the middle. So
okay.
Yeah, it's just and there is a graphical glitch on the screen. I'm not going to complain too much. It's a little raster line glitch. It's obviously it's got a bad line, Adrian. Bad line. No, bad lines. But it's got a bad line on it. But other than that, whatever. So. Yeah, it's just in the bottom right hand corner of the display. But I'm not going to cry myself to sleep over that. It's all right. It's this, I suppose, but it's just a bit It's just lacking it's lacking a bit of va-va-voom. It's lacking its character. It's just like it's just something missing. I think maybe it's because Chuck Rock isn't a very appealing character. And his belly bump and all the fun things you may be able to do just didn't feel like that much fun to me, especially if I have to go back 26 miles and do it all again. So there you go. That's what I thought. It's worth a look at. Maybe worth a look at.
Yeah, worth a look at. There you go. That's what we thought of you, Harvey. That's our first game this week. It's okay. It's not a gold medal though. We're not going to put it up there in the rarefied heights.
No.
Let's move on though, because we've still got one game to look forward to in this part. And Graham, that's over to you to tell us all about Steigar.
So it is Steigar, isn't it? Steigar. What a strange thing this bloody well is, honestly, this thing. All right, Steigar. Goodness me. This is $3.99 to its budget. It's published by Screen 7. That's Screen, not Scream, because you might scream 7 times playing this thing. It was created by Danny Marsh. He did Hellfire and Army Days. Now, I don't know if they're games that we've looked at before, but they exist and he did them. And it's also by Stephen Legg, Mr. McGregor. He did The Fury and Jaws. Do you remember them? No, maybe not.
No.
And the musician is also Danny Marsh and Stephen Legg. They see the games I referred to earlier. So this is Steigar, a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up of the classic variety. So in this, you pilot a helicopter, and you must get the helicopter from one side of the display screen to the other. How exciting is that? Now, you'd found a blurb for this, hadn't you? There is a blurb of sorts, a scan, if you like, and it says this, Adrian. Steigar, marauder, soldier of fortune, hitman. His business was death. Other people's, of course, and his currency was gold. That makes no sense for this game. None. None whatsoever. It's like describing something else.
Yep.
If there was a problem, any problem, someone else's problem, that would be any problem, Steigar would make it his problem at a price. Let me just go through the logistics of that again. So if there's a problem, any problem, someone else's problem, he'd make it his problem. All right.
If you can find him, and maybe you can hire him for some problem.
You can hire Steigar. No island fortress was secure. I beg to differ. I bet they were. No embassy was safe. If the gold was right, the job got done. Where he came from, no one dared ask. But Steigar was bound for hell. They're just writing shit now. Then came capture, the interrogation. Too useful to eradicate, the CIA said. Drafted into the US Navy, Steigar is trained to be a hit-and-run helicopter pilot. Only the senior command know that Steigar is no ordinary recruit. It may be a terrorist training camp that needs wiping out. It may be a military dictator destabilizing the area who needs attention. When the odds seem impossible, Steigar is let loose, dealing death and destruction to the chosen enemy. Steigar used to work for gold. Now he works for orders. The job's the same. Steigar is the kind of arcade-quality, multi-level, multi-weapon, death or glory blast 'em up that wrecks joysticks. Dangerous big-screen action for the mercenary in you. All right.
Okay.
There's a lot of lies in that, isn't there, for what this is? This is a side-scrolling shooting where you pilot a helicopter. All right. A helicopter, Adrian, that changes colour, but we'll come to that. So the title screen will appear. A grey affair, I felt. A grey and melancholy affair with the melancholy music. The music was reminiscent of the kind of style of a Green Beret Rambo, I thought. In that melancholy tone, not as good as the quality of that, of course, but the melancholy quality, the long, droning, pitchy synth, kind of sad droney style, the kind of thing I'm sort of alluding to. It's that.
I know.
So it starts off with that kind of melancholy quality. That's not what you want when you start off an exciting game, is it?
That's not what that back of that cover has not promised me that. It's promised me Steiger.
Exactly. But remember that even Green Beret, when it starts, it's it's exciting and Rambo and all that. I'm doing good impressions today. But the Steiger music, no. So, and then the greyness of the background, the grey text on the grey background with the white border, very bleak. These coloured blobs will appear, which will give you an indication of the power-ups that you can get along the way of the game. Speed up, extra points, extra life, extra weapon, and extra firepower. Ooh. Anyway, you'll want to press fire to play, won't you? You will, because you want to do that. And then in between this, and I think this is a multi-load. I had a easy flash cartridgey type thing, so I don't know if this is one load, multi-load, disc load. I don't know, and I don't care.
Right.
What appeared next was a green helicopter pointing to the left. Okay, there it is, green helicopter, and that's your helicopter, Steigar's chopper. That's his chopper. Helicopter. It's a big old thing, yeah. And then you'll get back to the grey screen with the mission brief, and it'll say, alert, 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 reporting of enemy naval unit. Location, and it doesn't matter because it's just a number of digits, locate and destroy. You don't really need to locate them, I would say, because you just kind of fly over them. And then it's into the game. Now, the first thing you notice straight away is that your helicopter's now changed direction. You're now pointing to the right, and it's gone grey. Your helicopter's now grey. In fact, everything's kind of grey in this game. It's a very grey game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, then the game will begin, and then you are into the side-scrolling shoot-'em-up territory of this game. So the game is a monotonous side-scrolling shooter that has vehicle confusion, I thought, because it makes sense for an aeroplane to be in this more than a helicopter, doesn't it? You wouldn't send a helicopter to bomb naval ships for two reasons. Firstly, because they'd be blown out of the sky by the sheer bombarding armament of the ships at sea, which are very, very well armed. They have extremely powerful radars. They can detect submarines. So a little tiny helicopter in the air ain't going to be too much of a problem. And the payload for those helicopters, small, I would say. It works for on the ground, really, where helicopters rule. Now, the Apache gunship helicopter is one of the most devastating machines of war, isn't it? Powerful they are. At sea, less powerful. They have to refuel quite a bit, not going to get out that far. And let's face it, the weather changes out there pretty heavily, and helicopters aren't known for their ability to really, stomach the weather of the sea, shall we say. They're not seafaring. And you need to get out of the way of a ship, PDQ, because once they fire their ground-to-air missiles at you, you've got to be able to get out of the way of them. Aeroplanes can do that because they travel pretty fast. Helicopters, they can go quite fast, but not as fast as an aeroplane. Anyway, it's an helicopter in it that you control. So you'll start the game, and the UI is at the bottom fifth, maybe I'd say, of the screen, giving you the score, the bombs, I think, and maybe energy levels. I don't know. It's not very well defined.
It's a confusing UI.
It is. It doesn't mean anything. It's not helicopter shaped. It doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of a couple of red rastery things for no reason. Red. And it's just there's some numbers strewn. No idea what they really mean. So the score's the only one that sort of makes sense because it's score looking. But who knows? And who cares, really? It doesn't matter. Above that is the game, which is a series of ships scrolling across the bottom, a constant onslaught of enemies zipping from right to left, and you as the helicopter scrolling over, shooting and dropping bombs and missiles with a long press of your button. You control everything with the joystick apart from that, and you just press the button to shoot. You can't hold the button down because that launches bouncy bombs. I'll talk about them in a minute. But that's the controls, so you control it. And the idea, obviously, go across the screen, shoot 'em up style, avoid the things, and get to the end because there'll be something to do at the end. A classic tradition of these games. There's no in-game music here, though. So it's just chopper sounds and shooting, and all the bullets in it are little black pixel dots, with the exception of the somewhat unnecessary bouncing bombs that you can drop. Why do they have those? Who knows? What purpose would they serve? Now, the bouncing bomb is a strategic marvel and an amazing thing of the Second World War. Famously inaccurate, though, and designed to blow up things that were static, like dams, where you needed to bounce the bomb towards a giant wall.
Hence the dam busters.
Dam busting part, and not accurate. No, you don't need to be too accurate when you're throwing bombs that are bouncing bombs. They just need to skim off the surface of the water and hit a wall. Okay.
Yep.
Doing that on a ship is stupid because it's going to bounce off the ship and miss. So using bouncing bombs is really silly. And not only that, helicopters couldn't carry that many, could they? They're big. They're really heavy ordnance. Your helicopter ain't going to take off if you have too many of them, unless you're making them out of what I would class as space operas. Now, you ain't going to get a lot of TNT in a space opera, and it ain't going to do any damage whatsoever to a warship. But you know what? It'd be fun to try, wouldn't it? Maybe. You know what? Stuff you'd said. See, these are suicide missions, remember? Anyway, okay. You get through the onslaught, and you will have a larger ship to blow up and wave after wave of missiles flying towards you that stay in straight lines so they don't break the multiplexer. Bit of a tale of this game, really, that. The graphics are passable at best in this. The ships look like ships. Okay? The planes look like planes. The helicopters look like helicopters. There's scaling issues. Helicopters aren't as big as airplanes, or are they? I don't know. You wouldn't know in this, but the ships are kind of small, really, comparatively sized to your helicopter. Warships are massive, Adrian.
Well,
and
far
especially
away.
well, maybe, but then you'd miss, wouldn't you? Bouncing mobs would be nowhere near.
You do. Repeatedly.
But your aircraft carriers and things like that, they're aircraft carriers. They carry aircraft. They're massive, Adrian. They're like cities. They're huge. Now, the biggest vessels in the sea are the aircraft carriers, generally. So you got to drop bombs, shoot them, and avoid stuff. I made it to level 2, which is more or less the same as level 1, only featuring a crappier background effect that appears as a scrolling block across the bottom, which was really stupid. I don't know if you saw that, but as you scroll along the level, just this block of background just appears with a straight edge. It's like, oh, okay, background's appearing. Really naff. And then semi-transparent tanks appear, a little else to speak of. They kind of merge into the background because they've used the exact same colours, 3 colours in the transparency layer of a sprite over the background, so they just blend. It's not very good.
That's good.
What can you say about this? This functions at basic level, and I mean basic. It's got all the hallmarks of somebody's first game, or at least somebody's... I've seen student games that look like this. This is how students make shoot-em-ups when they first do them. So everything flies in straight lines towards you. You've got to avoid everything, or you die. Without thinking that, some of the tactics that you need in this, you need to drive people and you need to push them on. You can pick up the power-ups in this, but they don't seem to do a lot. They changed my bombs to missiles temporarily, which made no sense anyway, because then I couldn't shoot the damn ships at all. So unless I went low enough to shoot them, which would then mean I was going to get shot out the sky. But there's other issues here as well, isn't there? There's loads of issues. The control's functional, I would say, but it's never clear if you should aim down for the ships, because you can tilt your helicopter down, because helicopters, when they fly forward, they tilt forward, obviously. Airplanes don't do that because, they don't need to. I don't know. Is that how you control it? Because it kind of made things shoot downwards. I don't know. Do you need to? I discovered the game's sweet spot, where you could just hover about a third of the way up and across from the left and shoot constantly, and able to then shoot all the enemies on that pathway, because the enemies only fly in straight lines. They don't wobble and wave around. There's no waves. They just come at you in straight lines, and just in waves of straight lines. And no missiles from the ship could hit me, since they all fire too late, because they all fire assuming that you're going to be in a certain position. So if you're at the right position, by the time they've come underneath you, they fire, you're already over them. So there's a sweet spot in the game, which meant I could go through the entire first level without actually getting hit by anything at all. It wasn't exactly challenging, though, to do that. Well, it wasn't much fun, just going pew, 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 not moving the joystick at all, just waiting, really. So, I don't know. It just, you could cruise boringly to the end of the level. It's a boring budget shooter, this, isn't it? Boring. With nothing, it's grey. Nothing else to offer. Just repeats of the same level design, such as you could call that design, with wave after wave of enemies all in straight horizontal lines. The only challenge comes if you move around the screen to collect the power-ups. If you don't move, nothing's going to bother you, because you can just shoot whatever's in front of you before it, just as it appears on the screen. Never going to bother you, that, is it? I don't know. Really? Steigar, goodness me. All those promises of this game and all that brouhaha. It's nonsense, Adrian. Nonsense. This is rubbish. It only got 35%. I'd have given it lower. It's crap. My advice for the time travelers out there, go and buy Armalite or Catechis on budget, which came out a month ago, I think, or a couple of months ago. Don't just give this a miss. Pretend it doesn't exist. Don't do it. And it's this. By the way, there's no Rod Steigar in this, so it's not even got that bit in it. It's just there's nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. It uses his name. Why this game? Why that name? Why Steigar? Anyway, I don't get it. I don't know, and we'll never know, and we don't know. We could ask. We could go and ask Danny Marsh. Say, why did you call it Steigar? Maybe there's a reason. I don't know, but. All it was for me is just a massive misfire. It was just a really crap budget shooter with nothing much to offer, and Armalite's out, and that's way better. Go and play that. That's my advice. What about you?
Just to say, by the way, this was originally released in 1989, so this is the budget re-release 3 years later. Right. But I'm not sure if it actually got released. Screen 7 released it in 89, but I don't know.
It never came up for us in Zapped, did it? So
no, it didn't. So I don't know what happened to this, but But this is awful. Just awful. Yeah. Why would anyone want to re-release this stinker from 1989? Do you know what was also released in 1989, Graham? Retrograde. Silkworm. There's another good left to right, shooter for a helicopter. Go play that. And we've got this. From every angle, this is bad. The intro is weird. Overly long shot of a helicopter for no good reason, facing the wrong way. It's the wrong colour. The fake alert sequence is naff. I hate that. Alert, alert, alert. Boop, boop. The graphics of the game aren't very good. The notion of waves is not making a wall of aircraft come at you.
Yeah.
Which, unless you find the sweet spot. As you said, you got barely any chance to survive. And why, for all that is holy, do you put gravity on power-ups?
Yeah, bit stupid.
So you barely have a chance to get them. Power-ups to just scroll across to you. That's
to make
what
you
power-ups
move, because they know that if you don't move, you can just go through the game without doing anything.
Oh, but then you don't need the power-ups. The bouncing bombs barely work. The power-up missiles do nothing, like the goggles. The end of level is a joke. The end of level is a joke. I was killed by nothing. I was just avoiding those missiles, and I just got killed. It just blew me up. I was like, what did I die from? I just died.
Yeah.
Every time I got this, because the waves of missiles filled the screen, there was no discernible pattern. At one point, they just all appeared at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just
it's like, what happened there?
It's their first. Honestly, it's a level 3's first game, isn't it? When you say do a shooter, and they do it, and this is what they do.
Oh god, this is a dreadful shooter with no single redeeming features to be found.
You're not wrong.
We've seen many bad shooters, and this goes quite happily in amongst them. Well, it fly in amongst them, but it wouldn't be able to fly because it's just all over the place, and it wouldn't know where it's going. But it's left to right. There's waves. Rod Steiger would be rolling in his grave that they've used his name for this.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy, would he?
No, he wouldn't. No. Yeah. God damn it, this is awful. £4 for this. And like you said, Armalite's out. Turrican 2's out. You know. Catechist. So many good shooters are out. Nemesis, Salamander. Don't buy this. It was Silkworm, Swiv, if you want vertical. It's just don't buy this. It's crap.
No, it is
God's
crap.
sake. 35%. That is generous. That's a third. There's nothing third about this. There isn't a third of good about this. It's dreadful.
Music was all right, maybe, if you like melancholy music about Rod Steiger.
Yeah, I'm not paying £4 for some melancholic Rod Steiger music.
Maybe
I've done that before from a charity shop.
Picture of him.
I want happy.
Find a picture of him where he's looking pretty forlorn. Put that music on. It would go with it, I think. It would, it's a good mood setter.
It might do. I mean, that might be something I could
if you want a
Steigery
moment.
Oh, Jesus. The rod up this. There's a rod up it. This was dreadful. Awful rubbish. Let's speak no more of Steigar. It's crap. Yeah. What's that cover? The cover's just got a bloke with a gun and a small helicopter at the bottom. It's like, I thought, it's this kind of stuff like multi kind of vehicle-esque thing. There's a boat, there's a tank, there's a plane, there's a helicopter, there's the guy in the middle, all that stuff on the back. It's not his orders anymore, it's his gold or whatever he said, but the stuff still, it's just rubbish. I don't know what this was on about. Garbage. Anyway, Steiger. Crap.
Yeah.
There you go. We didn't like that one.
No.
If you didn't guess. We're going to go away, take a break after those two. By the way, it did occur to me just as I was sort of going through all that Chuck Rock, the prehistoric setting and everything. Do you ever play Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge? Do you remember those? I think Bonk's Adventure 3 came out on the Amiga. Bonk's Adventure came out in 1989 on the TurboGrafx, and Bonk's Revenge there was a Game Boy version. Little cute kid, prehistoric kid, going around, bouncing around with a big head.
No, I never had it. I never had that on the Amiga. I would have remembered.
I knew there was a game. I was thinking there was a platformer, a sort of prehistoric one from around that time, and I think that's where Chuck Rock has taken it.
You mean it wasn't the Flintstones?
Maybe.
What was the caveman game that we had years ago? The caveman one was on the cycle thing.
Oh, Bonk. BC's Quest for Tires.
Yeah, that was a caveman, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yes, yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd mention it. Anyway, we're going to go away, take a break. When we come back, we have the music from July 1992 to talk about, singles and albums. So please do stay with us.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Crash landing on a green planet full of vector graphics, can Sarah find a way to escape for real? Or is she stranded on a planet full of sun, sea, and chippy tea forever? Imagine finding yourself in a cinematic karate game, having to rescue a princess, or remain stuck under the run-stop key forever. What about finding yourself on a space freighter full of robots? Could you clear the decks? If you were transported back to a Wild West town, having to round up outlaws, could you survive until sunset? What if you were a wizard with a cat who must colour worlds? Could you beat the game, or would a virtual guitar solo announce your demise? Sarah might just be another visitor, but she doesn't want to stay a while, never mind forever. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, discover if there's a way out in Escape from the Commodore 64. Visit davidhearnwriter.com to find out more.
And we're back. Let's get into the music for July 1992. Singles, number one singles, Graham, for the first week of the month. ABBA-esque by Erasure was still there.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time. Didn't we? We did.
Yeah, so no need to mention that again. But what we should mention, though, is in at number one for the last 3 weeks of the month. This is British public. Ain't No Doubt by Jimmy Nail.
Yeah, this is a return, isn't it? Because of the TV show Spender, which
is that what it is?
Yeah, it's either out or it's imminent or something, but I'm pretty sure it's to do with that, because we wouldn't just come out of the bloody nowhere, would it? I mean, getting a nail out is difficult at best. You need a claw hammer for that. And I always think that the name Jimmy Nail is because he got hit with an hammer, because that's kind of what he looks like a little bit, isn't it? He looks like someone went to town with him. I mean, no, he's not blessed with the Brad Pitts, is he? He's more of the armpits.
Oh dear
me. But you know what? He had a beautiful singing voice. So if you like that kind of thing,
he had a singing voice.
Yeah, it's a cheesy song. Now it's not great. Video was very cheesy as well. Very moody.
Yeah,
we're getting a lot of this moody black and white, aren't we? This
made me laugh when he just walks up at the tube station and starts muttering about stuff and goes and stalks some woman on a telephone. It's like, this is a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know what Spender was about, the TV show. I don't know. I never watched it, so I don't know if this is kind of him in character or whether it's just him being Jimmy Nail's actually just like that. He just wanders around London dressed as a bit of a grubby, I don't know, investigator, I guess. I don't know what he was really.
Maybe, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, he's at number one for 3 weeks.
Popular.
Yeah, number one albums, Back to Front by Lionel Richie for the first week.
That's it, Richie Lionel, we mentioned last time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that. Replacing that for the next week was UF Orb by The Orb.
Popular in certain brown sauce camps, that, I believe.
I believe so, yeah. Their second studio album. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got a lot to say about this. It's The Orb. I never liked it. It was never my thing. Gary could probably talk about it more. Can you talk about it at all?
I don't know a lot about it, actually. I know it's very influential, and for all sorts of different reasons, but that's as much as I know. I didn't really listen to it. It was very Gary thing. He was quite into this. And I remember him, I'm pretty sure I know he's got it. And in fact, he's bound to have it on vinyl because it's what he does. And I suspect he's probably got the original vinyl that he got then. I remember him having it. And I could be wrong. I think, did he have a poster on his wall of it as well or something like that? Or
I think he might have done, yeah. He was very much into that little fluffy clouds, wasn't it? And things like that.
Yeah, he was very into this kind of thing. But that's Gary. He's into all sorts of stuff, isn't he? But he was very into that at the time, and rightly so. I don't doubt that it's impressive, and it's certainly different to the other stuff that's surrounded about at the time. That whole idea of it's the template that it created, I guess. But I don't know much about it. I don't know enough about it to be able to be effective in describing it, and I didn't listen to it enough to be able to tell you whether I enjoyed it. I gave it another listen for this time, and I thought it was all right.
It passed the time.
Yeah,
while you were working.
It got 2 or 3 Gary Barlows for me. It's all right. It's a bit of a Barlow, isn't it? It's all right.
You gave it a Howard.
It's 3 Barlows, yeah.
3 Gary Barlows equals a Howard.
I give this 2.5 Barlows on the Barlow scale.
Okay. I'm not sure I'd give it that high, but maybe a Jason Orange.
But that's the orange scale. It's a different scale. You got to learn the scales.
All
it's
right.
Barlow, a male singing Barlow. That's how it works. You can make the rest up yourself.
I will do. Thanks. Thank you. Replacing that for the final 2 weeks of the month was the greatest hits, 1966 to 1992 by Neil Diamond.
Yeah, we mentioned this before. Was that another one where he was just? Remember, they're not years; they're numerical references. You've got to remember that.
Yeah, maybe. But this was a lot of songs from his years with Universal. I think MCA, represented by Live or Studio re-recordings, because MCA Records refused to license the masters to Columbia Records, something that would cause controversy.
Yeah, there's a lot that went on behind the scenes where the singers don't own the masters. It was a classic modern example is Taylor Swift, right, where she re-recorded all of her own songs again. Now she owns all of her own masters. I think she bought them, but she didn't actually own those masters of her own recordings, which is crazy. She does now, but she didn't. And I guess that's the same deal with Mr. Diamond.
Yeah, must have been. I had a quick look at the track listing for this. It's got Holly Holy on it, which is put to great use in Mike Flanagan's Midnight Mass, for when they're all kind of that sequence in there. If you've seen it, when the blood's starting to work on them.
Yes,
Henry Thomas starts dancing with his wife and stuff because he's got a bad back, hasn't he? And
yes,
that's that
actually,
song.
Yes,
great.
Okay,
it's a great song.
It is good, that. And did you know a fascinating fact about Neil Diamond? He's rubbish at golf.
Is he?
Yeah, he can't hit the ball straight, so he always ends up where? There's always a diamond in the rough.
Oh, God's sake. Did you just come up with that?
No, that's the true fact. That's a real fact.
I don't believe you.
That's a true fact. Neil Diamond's in the rough. It's a famous, it's a famous fact. You can look it up.
Famous joke. Okay. Well,
no, not a joke. It's a fact. And the joke is just an unfortunate consequence of that happening.
I'll take your word for it.
He invented that joke.
He had to. Before anyone else got there, he copyrighted it. So no one else could say it. You've just broken that copyright. He'll be on it. He'll have his lawyers on. No one wants Diamond's lawyers on it yet.
The copyright ran out about 2 years ago. It's all good.
That's all right then. We're good. We're good to go.
I own the masters now for that. So he's not. It doesn't.
I am the master. Singles then. 5th of July. In at number 3 was Sesame's Treet by the Smart E's.
Yeah. Death to Videodrome. Long live the new flesh. Awful. Bloody
dreadful thing.
Awful. Just, clearly they took an E, made that, and they thought, that sounds great. And then the E wore off, and the rest of us that didn't have any E's were like, what is this cacophony of awfulness? And it's that.
Yeah, garbage. In at number 5 was Ain't No Doubt by Jimmy Nail. We've spoken about that. In at number 11 was A Trip to Trumpton by Urban Hype.
Yeah, no.
It's another one of those. They're just taking children's stuff out there and just make them into sort of raved up.
Yeah, we said it would happen because one DJ probably did it when he was doing a bit
Charlie,
of
wasn't there, from
yeah,
Prodigy.
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean, but a DJ's done it, haven't they? So Smart. We had another one a while back. I forget what that was, and then we've got this.
Probably.
Now we've got Trumpton, and not Trumpton. I like Trumpton. It's a classic. Don't mess with Trumpton.
Yeah, well, garbage. In at number 13 is Even Better Than the Real Thing with Remix. U2.
Yeah, my question was which one? There were so many remixes. I think Paul Oakenfold pretty much, I think he made a living off doing remixes of the U2 because for a while, every U2 remix was Paul Oakenfold. He went on tour with them. He remixes everything for Bono, everything. When he goes into his house, he's moved all his furniture around. He's changed his doors. He's moved his bedrooms, redecorated. He is the master of his cereal. Everything. He does.
To make sure he doesn't have the same cereal twice in the same bite.
He remixes everything in his life. But there are so many remixes of that. I found one on YouTube, which we'll post in the show notes. It's probably not the right one because there's loads of them. Some of them are pretty good. They all have a sound. And then, of course, Oakenfold became famous for voyaging to trance music and DJing and all the other stuff. He's a very famous producer, and he did Happy Mondays, I think. Did a lot of stuff for them as well. He's a big name brand. So there's about 50 remixes of that, maybe more. I don't know. I lost track of them all. There's loads of them. Every time you go to a record fair, you're looking through the remixes of Even Better Than the Real Thing section. It's just an endless box. It's like, does this ever stop? So many.
No. Can't stop. It's a Sport Billy box. In at number 20 is Shake Your Head by Was. Not Was.
Yeah. Bit of a famous song, actually.
Re-release.
Odd re-release of their own track.
Well, it got Kim Basinger on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, so the new one's got Kim Basinger, but this was released in 1983 by the same group, and it sounds completely different. The original had Ozzy Osbourne on the vocals, and Ozzy Osbourne's vocals are used on the remix, and obviously they've got Kim Basinger doing You Can't Sue Buddha for Libel and all that, and she is, she's quite a good singer, actually, in her own right. She's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a very strange song, but it was Steve Silk Hurley was involved, I understand from the wiki, so that sort of gives why it's got that kind of housey vibe, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's all right. It's unusual, but it is Was, not Was. Remember, it's Don Was, not Was.
Don Was, not Was.
Don Was. So we have to say Was, don't we? It's not Was, not Was. It's Was, not Was. That's right.
It was, yeah. And you forget how, I know it here, you forget how beautiful Kim Basinger is.
Oh, she's crazy good looking. Ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous. In at number 24 is Ain't No Man by Dina Carroll.
Hashtag Our Shite.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not say no more. Number 27 is Lip Service, which, because it's wet, wet, wet. Even that title makes me go,
Wet lip service. He gives you that. He'll give you a good old wet lip service and he'll wash you. He can wash a car with his lips. It's crazy how he does it.
He hasn't washed his hair though, has he? Which is why they just focus on his lips for the entire video.
Dirty greaser. It's well greasy at the start. I can wash your damn hair, man. And then, like you said, it suddenly goes to sort of over close up. I'm like, I don't want to be that close to his mouth. I get the song. Lip service.
I could see the crumbs around the edges. It was horrible.
Oh, the what's it dust, wasn't it? Just on the corners of his mouth, the orange crust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really. Frightening.
No one wanted it.
No, you can spit a liquid version of like Venom. and it blinds you if you get too close. It's not very nice.
Absolutely. You're wiping cheesy dust out your eyes.
If you don't like it, you just hear a ha sound and you're like, that stings. Absolutely. That really stings. And
he can also flap his neck out like the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park as well.
He can.
If you didn't know that.
It certainly is an unusual thing to be able to do.
It is. You should see him. Not many people can attest to this because he's blinded them at the same time.
Exactly, with his dust powder. And I think also, but it doesn't prevent him from washing his hair, which he should have done.
He should have done, yeah. But the song itself, I thought this was sub-George Michael attempt at funk.
Oh, it is awful. It's wet is a very accurate description of it. It's just a bit limp, isn't it? Not very good.
It's pretty crap. In at number 29 is Amigos para Siempre, Friends for Life by Jose Carreras and Sarah Brightman.
Yeah, she's looking a bit bright-eyed and booby in that, isn't she? I know she was I fell in love with a Starship Trooper I think that's the last thing I could think of. Was that Sarah Brightman? I think it is. But this was just, she's a very talented operatic singer. Jose Carreras is a very talented operatic singer, and the two sang a song that sounded like the mid-70s Eurovision entry for Sweden or Norway.
Yeah, it did. And then just cut suddenly. It was like you said, something about the Olympics, and you would have known that for the first half of the video until it suddenly cut to Olympics, and then they were at a stadium.
Because this is when the sports events had to have themes and logos and things. Well, I suppose they still do, but it had that kind of a big, then it was kind of a big deal, wasn't it? They launched the branding of everything, and it had, this was the song of the Olympics.
We saw those intros, didn't we, for the Euro 92 last week? But her hair is large, I have to say. It's very large.
There's a lot of spray in that. So I wonder if it didn't get in their throats, all that spray, because it's basically glue, isn't it? Hairspray.
Well, that's how he says his name. Holiday. That's how you got to say his name properly.
He's got he's trying to hock up a bit of dust in the back of his throat. What's your name? My name is Oh, okay. We'll put Jose down. Is that all right? Spelt Josie, right? Isn't it? Is it Josie?
Josie Carreras.
That's what they'd say, wouldn't it? Right. So Josie and Sarah, you go over there. It is Jose. Yeah, all right, mate. Josie, can you look after Sarah?
Yeah, you dance over there. And at number 32 is 100% by Sonic Youth.
I don't know nothing about them.
No, I mean, I'm not a massive Sonic Youth fan. I've got time for them, but it's just, when they get going as a riff, they're great. I just found and it's evident in this song, the scratchy, noisy parts just ruin a lot of the songs for me. It's just like, there's this atonal crap that they do on top, and it's like, oh, God's sake, stop doing that, because you've got quite a good song here until you start doing that.
Yeah, but, actually, yeah, they do spoil it a bit.
It's their seventh, we'll see. It's the seventh album out, which we'll see in a bit, but so they're obviously doing something right, but not.
Yeah, wasn't very popular. Apparently very influential, weren't they, Sonic Youth?
Yeah, they were. Number 33 is From Here to Eternity by Iron Maiden.
Dubious is the word here.
She put her hands on his greasy machine. She wiped his kickstart clean.
Oh, don't. The lyrics are so cheap. These are cheesy and suggestive, even for Iron Maiden. I mean, that tells you something, surely. Who wrote this nonsense? So,
I don't know.
Dickinson's Fringe, which is a place you can go to and visit.
Absolutely. It's just south of Cheddar Gorge, in it.
Yeah. So go and visit Dickinson's Fringe, the straightest edge in the UK.
Yeah. Tradesmen use it to make sure they put the shelves up straight.
They do. Absolutely. Yeah. That's how you can measure. If you got a spirit level, I've got better than that. Try this, Dickinson's Fringe. Bloody hell. I thought my shelves were level until I put that there, and they're not at all. The world's not the same. I can't operate on the world. The world feels like it's 2 degrees out.
Yeah, and the smooth rhythm change to 28 seconds is an oral stab to the ears. Just from the intro to the first bit.
Smooth. I think Smooth is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. That's smooth in the way that Iron Maiden consider things smooth. That just shows you what it's really like. It's not subtle, I think, is the key phrase I'd add to that. Yeah, not subtle. No, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's I've never
known a band do that, ever. I don't know another band that does just those rhythm changes.
Well, I can tell you another band that does kind of stark rhythm changes, but over a much longer time period, and that's Fields of Nephilim. They do that. They've suddenly changed. I always feel like they've just started another song and nobody bothered to say stop the other one. So
yeah, absolutely.
Start another one. But yeah, Maiden are famous for that kind of... And that's not a great song off Fear of the Dark either, From Here to Eternity. It's a bit cheesy, even for them.
Number 37 is Be My Downfall by Delamitri.
Stupid. Starts with the sound of a braking train, clearly the sound of a braking train. Then he immediately sings about a bus pulling out. Know your transport sounds, you dishcloth.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Because even a shot of a train in the video.
And as soon as he starts, it's like, I can feel the bus pulling out of the station. You can't, mate, because it was a train. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Now, ching, ching, ching a guitar off, bugger off. Get to the toilet. You need the toilet, mate. You need the toilet. You should have been there to tell him to go to the toilet.
And for God's sake, shave those sideburns.
God, yeah. Just, I don't know. I don't know what a delimetry is, but I'm not buying it.
No. And at number 38 is Come On by DJ Seduction.
I'll wager a penny you don't like that.
You're right. I don't. Not one bit.
Yeah. Now, the only interesting thing about this is that you can hear the Prodigy sound in there. You can hear it. Think Jilted Generation. It's not as good as that, but you think Jilted Generation, and if you think about it, you can sort of you can hear it. You can hear the influence of that. That sound is coming through rave culture because of the blending of the genres, which is good. It's a good thing because it leads to a Prodigy, and nothing bad about that really. I don't think. Not the good version of the Prodigy, anyway.
In at number 39 is Rave Alert by Praga Khan.
Sounds like the KLF.
This song is a fucking mess.
It is shit. And it's got the word rave in it.
I couldn't work out one bit of it. I was like listening to it going, what's happening?
Because it's not delicate about its influence or the way it's constructed. They've obviously read the How to Make a Millionaire song or whatever it was by the KLF and had a go. And it didn't work out so good.
No. Doubt they made a million pennies.
No, not very good.
No. 12th of July, in at number 7 is Sexy MF Strolling by Prince and the New Power Generation.
Yeah, see, I know I really like this track. But
I know you do.
It's just because it's got a very cool arrangement and a vibe. I get that it's not for everybody, but there's a really nice gypsy jazz vibe about that track, which is unusual for Prince. And it's got a really, really, really good guitar solo that isn't actually performed or written by Prince in that, which is unusual for him as well. But it's a good song. It's a good construction of a song. Now, the video, that's not so great because it's way over long because it's one of them silly videos that has a whole story attached for no reason. But in the middle of that, when the song occurs, there's a really nice vibe to that. Very James Brown, obviously, but I think I quite dig it for that. It's very funky and it's quite cool in that respect.
You're going to need to explain gypsy jazz to me. What the hell's that?
So it's a method of style of guitar playing, gypsy jazz. You'll have heard it with people like Django Reinhardt and people like that. So there's this kind of
he's just saying words.
So it's a style of guitar playing that involves a kind of a particular style of jazz. So it's a fusion of jazz and a kind of how can you describe the style? Their version is kind of a funk blues gypsy jazz version. So it's kind of a really unusual chord sequences, really unusual fast arpeggiated playing, really extensive use of the fretboard, but all physically played, no picking and fancy picking. It's all finger picking, proper old school playing like that. And of course, famously, I think Django Reinhardt, I think he only had 2 fingers on one of his hands, so he had to adapt to play it in this particular way. So if you Google it after this, you'll hear what I mean. Now, I'm not saying that this is gypsy jazz per se. I'm saying this is a kind of an acid jazz version of that. But that style of guitar, it goes that kind of thing. It's very, very good. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
I'm going to guess, though, that you're not going to think this is very good. But at number 9, we have LSI by The Shaman.
Ooh.
Coming out like a 7th sense. You posted that picture in our agenda. I laughed when I got to that bit because it's just... this video cracks me up every time. Cracked me up at the time, it cracked me up now. The man in the Shaman in this video is comedy gold. Look at that second picture and say he's not.
Yeah, what is he? Mr. C, I believe they call him.
Mr. C. Oh, so good. Song's terrible, but Mr. C, God bless him.
Yeah, because the song it's so LSI, Love, Sex, Intelligence. So the song is Love, Sex, Intelligence. Yeah. Ooh, love, sex, intelligence. Ooh, coming in like a 7th sense. So, and it is very much the Shaman post the sad demise of the guy that sang Move Any Mountain. Yes. So this was kind of their song. Is it the song after Move Any Mountain? This?
No, they've had something else.
Ease Are Good? Was that before?
I think we've had Ease Are Good, yeah.
So we've had Ease Are Good. So this is the new version of the Shaman. Clearly they're on Ease. Clearly.
Clearly they're on something.
And, and he's clearly amphetamine need out his mind. That's why he can't stop moving and why they've dressed him in a Baco foil tracksuit.
And he looks like Pob.
He does look like Pob. He's got that bleached blonde hair look that was popular for a while in the 90s. No, can't say anything. I had my hair done that way. But for a while. So did Gary, actually, didn't he? When I think about it, for a while. He went.
He did. I never did.
He went, homosexual hitman is what somebody called me, and I'll take that. Anyway, by the by, I wasn't, but coming into like so sense. But that always cracked us up, didn't it? That bit, and it still does.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It still does. Yeah, it still has its comedy power.
Yep. And then he looks like what they looked at for the end of 28 years later for the characters that turned up at the end of that.
It does. My God, yeah, he's one of the Jimmys, isn't he? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Wow, that's uncanny.
There you go, crap song, but it's so funny. Watch the video again and just give yourself a laugh because it is very funny. And Gary, you'll be listening to this and I'm sure you'll know exactly what we're on about.
You'll know exactly what. And I wasn't sure. It looks to me like in the first bit of the video, he's wearing an outfit from Blake 7. I could be wrong, but somebody needs to correct me on that. It does look like it. So.
It could very well be. It could, yeah, whatever.
Ooh.
In at number 19 is You're the One for Me, Fatty by Morrissey.
Yeah, not very PC these days, is it that? Not very nice.
No,
crap song anyway.
Just sounds like every other bloody Morrissey song.
Yeah, miserable, you miserable man.
Yep. In at number 22 is Flying Saucer by The Wedding Present.
Yeah, I quite liked it.
I was shocked when I read that. Shocked.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought it just had a good vibe.
It is quite all right. Yeah, it's all right. Video is a pure student project though, but...
Yeah, black and white, fun nonetheless. UFOs in it, they do exist. For real, but they're not from other planets. Let's just, establish that. They're just things you don't know what they are. That's a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. They don't call them that anymore, but the UFO is an unidentified flying object. Doesn't mean it's from outer space. It just means you don't know what it is. So,
That's true. Yeah. Like this next song, 26, Mission of Love by Jason Donovan.
Is he? I can't believe he's still going at this point. Is he relevant? I thought he disappeared,
no,
really.
He's not. I thought he had it as well. Chart filler. It
is totally. It is
just chart filler.
Terrible song, poor production, more black and white, spot black and white again. Seems very popular that at the minute.
We've got a hole in the chart. I'll just get a bit of Jason Donovan out and just shove that in there. That'll fill it up. That's nice. That's chart filler.
Not going straight to number 1 though, has it? And it won't.
No, we're going to near it. Number 31 is Horror Head by Curve.
I didn't dig it. Might be for some people. So, do you like Curve? I can't remember.
Yeah, I do like Curve. Not massive fan of this one, but never say no to a bit of Tony Halliday. She's always pleasant to look at.
Bit of unpleasant cultural appropriation going on there with some of the iconography, bindi on the arms and things like that. It's a bit cheesy. And, of course, there's a lot of getting out of puddles and baths and water in this episode, I've noticed in some of the videos. I think it's the first one we've come across yet, but it's a bit of a trope for this. And it's sung in the key of sort of, hey, and it's just like, I don't know what they say. Who knows what they say? They communicate with Enya, I think. That's the only person who can understand them.
That's true. And Clanad. Clanabites, remember?
Yeah, the Clanads. Yeah. Got kicked in the Clanads. It didn't have hurt. Oh, it sounds painful, doesn't it? Getting kicked right in the Clanads.
Oh. Clicked on my horror head. Ooh.
I'm Connor Clannad from the Clannad clan. They could have been a clan. The Clannad clan.
Have, yes.
The clan Clannad.
Clan Clannad. Clan. Hakalash. At number 33
Crab juice.
is Heaven Sent by In Excess. Yeah, this isn't a great track.
No, they've long since departed from Decent Songsville, haven't they?
Yeah.
That a while ago. They left that city long ago. I feel like they're trapped in some kind of YouTube-based phantom zone. There's a few bands that have ended up there, I think.
Right, so I went to see a covers In Excess. It was like an In Excess and Duran Duran double act sort of thing, covers night. It was really good. It was actually a really good night. But I sort of thought, well, I better listen. I hadn't listened to In Excess apart from for the podcast sort of thing for a while, so I went through a lot of their albums and gave them another listen because I used to know them all. And it was painfully obvious that when you get to 1987's Kick, and Kick blows up and they become massive because they've released like 7 albums in about 7 years or something. So they're prolific. Right. They're just knocking these albums out and they're really good. And then you get to Kick and it goes massive and Kick becomes a really big hit. New Sensation, all those kind of tracks. And then the next one is 3 years later, which was X. And there's barely anything on X that's any good. You can see the moment that they've disappeared up their own ass and just like, gone off on tour and disappeared. And we've got to release this now and taken time to make it what we... You can hear it. You can see it if you look at the discography. And when I went to see them, all the best songs were Kick and pre-Kick. Anything they did later on, apart from maybe Suicide Blonde, was just unrecognizable. It was like, what's this? Right,
I'm with you.
So that's a band that changed when they got famous. You can see it. It's very obvious when you do listen to them.
Okay.
In at number 34, I'll probably say the same for this guy as well. All I Want Is You is Bryan Adams.
This was a Def Leppard song, slowed down, Adrian. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it's even got the same crappy lyrics.
Now, I obviously I can't play a bit for this, but I did actually speed it up to see if I was right. And if you speed it up, it sounds like a Def Leppard track.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. It just, I mean, you have to speed up. You can't speed it up like so it sounds like he's a Smurf. You obviously time stretch it and you shorten the time stretch on it, and it sounds like a Def Leppard. It's just to speed it up a tad. It's not by much. So I wonder if they wrote it and he's singing it. I don't know, but it's not very good, is it? Either way.
No, it's not. No. In at number 35 is Enter Your Fantasy EP by Joey Negro.
Decent house track of the time, I think, but probably remixed to the point where you want to smash it.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, this.
Nah.
No. 19th of July, in at number 5. This used to be my playground.
Yeah. Expensive video for a very boring song. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's from League of Their Own, isn't it? Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, baseball film. Yeah, good film. I can't see this song like perking you up in the middle of it, though, can you?
No, it's boring.
In at number 12 is Who Is It by Michael Jackson.
Do you know I had no memory of this at all?
I remembered it.
No, I didn't remember it at all. I mean, very expensive video, I guess. Aren't they all for him?
Yeah, parts of this reminded me of Billie Jean.
Yeah,
certain little bits. And it had more of a sound of his earlier stuff.
Yeah, it did.
Rather than the newer stuff we've been listening to, have been hearing recently, but it's all like that staccato, hard, much harder. This felt like a much more sort of earlier, bit more of a tune to this. I did remember it, and I think it's a better song because it does sound like his earlier stuff, but Michael Jackson, so
bit forgettable, I thought. And I thought he looks the most normal, that as far as normal can be attributed to Michael Jackson, I guess. But in that video, he looks kind of more.
It felt
normal.
Like an old style Jackson.
Yes, I think
more old style. Yeah, even though the video is incredibly expensive and pointless,
ridiculously so. Yeah, very pointless. Yeah.
In at number 17 is Your Mirror by Simply Red.
Yeah, dreary song, wasn't it? I imagined him singing that in a mirror, but in the style of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
That's so horrible.
I imagine he'd be looking at himself. He'd have a baguette where his cock would normally have been. He'd slice the baguette in half and then he'd position it so it was just either half was over his manhood, cupping, one might say. And then he'd be like rubbing it with probably some olive oil going, I'd f*** me. So I think that's what he'd be doing.
Why would you imagine that?
I don't know why, but I'm glad it's out there now. Thank God it's out the system.
But it's in my head now, and it's in all our listeners. You bad man.
It puts the lotion on the bread, or it gets the hose again.
Yeah, I said, would you not prefer butter or jam? I said lotion.
Can you imagine his victims in the pit saying that? You got any butter or jam? I said, put the lotion, precious. He'd drop his baguette. Oh, I'm going to have to get another one now.
That is his precious. The baguette. He's not got a dog. He just strokes a baguette till it goes mouldy and gets a new one.
No more. God. Poor Mick. Poor old Mick. He doesn't know, does he? He doesn't know what he doesn't know.
No, that's a good thing. Number 18 is Lithium by Nirvana.
My favourite Nirvana song.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good track. It's a good track.
Yeah,
They're all from Nevermind, so there's not a bad track on that album.
No, I really, really like that one. Out of all the Nirvana tracks that are out there in the world, I know people have their favourites. Teen Spirit's probably not on. Most people liked Nirvana for that album, and then when they listened to the other stuff, that sort of pushed you into the how much do you really like Nirvana? Because if you went early Nirvana, they were kind of hard to like, and if you went late Nirvana, I wouldn't say that. I would say that was more of a backlash version of Nirvana. I'm not saying they were bad; they're very good, but the In Utero version is very much you have to really like them for that. So, but I quite like that song as the balance. I think it's good.
Yeah, fair enough. In at number 21 is Face to Face by Susie and the Banshees.
Did you make of that?
It's really good. And as I was listening to it, I was like, this could be a Bond track. And there's a reason for that, as I found out, because I looked at it and I was like, because I played it to my partner and she went, oh yeah, I remember this. It's a song recorded by English rock band Susie the Banshees, composed by the group along with Danny Elfman, and was produced by Stephen Hague. It was featured in the 92 film Batman Returns.
Okay.
On its soundtrack. Film director Tim Burton asked the band to compose the main song of the movie. It sounds like a film track.
Yes.
And it's really good, though. It is really good.
And her appearance in the video now makes contextual sense because she's kind of riding around sort of super sexy and kind of rubbery Catwoman-y type outfits. And now it all makes sense. Yeah, totally.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, makes sense now. She's amazing looking in that. I mean, you forget about Susie Sue, but she's quite striking in that.
It's a really good song as well. I mean, obviously,
I liked it.
You get Danny Elfman behind something and a pop song, and you like most of these composers, like the David Arnold Bond ones and stuff like that, are always better than you kind of think. And
he appears everywhere, though. Danny Elfman. He's an elf. He's an elf man. He's half man, half elf. It's in his name.
We never noticed. It was there in plain sight all along.
It was. He's elf man. It's not Danny Elfman. He's elf man.
Elf
part man, part elf. All Danny. That's all Danny.
or Danny, where you need it to be. And at number 28 is Warm It Up, Danny, by Criss Cross.
I hated that.
It was awful, wasn't it? I mean, they did. Everyone knows they did Jump.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then name another Criss Cross song, and there's the reason why you can't, because it's rubbish.
Yep. Marketing dollars plus obnoxious kids equals this. I think they was pitching this as edgy rap for kids, but it feels like you're watching that Channel 4 Teeny Pop show, or Teeny Bops, whatever it's called, where they got kids to dress as adults and sing adult songs. It felt like they were singing songs that the lyrics, when they were like, what does this mean? And then some adult went, you don't need to know that, just say it. Shut up and say it.
Yeah,
so,
probably.
Marketing dollars thrown at them. Silly.
Yeah. At number 33 is Jesus, He Knows Me by Genesis. Big
dig at the old TV evangelists in the US, wasn't it that?
Yeah, yes. Yes, it's not subtle, this one, is it, in what it's on about? But it's a good song. I like this one. Genesis still had the ability to write a decent tune. I think this is a solid tune. Yeah,
it's certainly a bit of a comeback for them, wasn't it, at the time? Because they're, on the back of things like I Can't Dance and things like that, and all the various solo stuff that what's his name was doing. It was quite a return to form. Most recently, there's a really good cover of this by Ghost. It's actually released an EP of cover songs, and this is on that, along with Stay and the Iron Maiden track they covered, which is Phantom of the Opera. So very good it is. Recommend it.
Yeah, I had a listen. It was good, but that's a testament to a good original tune, I always think.
Yes, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Which then reminded me of the cover of Land of Confusion by Disturbed.
Yes, I really equally good. Yep. Good song. Again, a good song.
Original is great. Number 34 is 57 Channels and Nothing On by Bruce Springsteen.
I didn't quite get this.
No, I didn't either. It's like, is he trying to do some kind of weird sort of trip hop type, sort of monologue-y type? I didn't get it. What was he doing? What's odd? Really weird.
The background drone synth on that sounds a lot like Dark and Long by Underworld.
Oh, right. Okay.
Or actually, it might be Skyscraper, but it sounds like either Skyscraper or Dark and Long by Underworld. Which has got that kind of sound. It's like almost that exact sound. It's very similar.
Yeah, I didn't dig this.
I don't think he did. I don't think he knew what he was doing.
No, I can't imagine this gets played much on his live shows.
No.
In at number 35 is Full Term Love by Moni Love. Hour shite.
Yeah, full on hour shite that.
Yeah. Number 36 though, it's Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Don't break my heart. My achy, breaky heart. And so begins, Adrian, the craze of line dancing as we knew it.
Yeah, it reached the UK, didn't it, with this song?
Line dancing was to the 90s. What's it called? That silly dance thing that people do now is to the noughties, whatever it's called now.
I was thinking of the one before. I was Oops, Upside Your Head, that one.
Yeah, that was where people sat on the floor and rocked side to side. Achy Breaky Heart was the line dancing. The modern one,
you're on about Macarena?
No, there is Macarena, yeah. Then there's Saturday Night Wakefield, and there's some songs had a dance, didn't there? But this actually was a genre of dancing.
You're thinking of the K-pop one, Gangnam Style?
No. They're all.
That one has one.
They're all songs that had a dance. This is a song that was for a genre of dancing, which is line dancing.
Ah, okay.
And so there's a what's it called? There's a people do these classes like Keep Fit dance classes at the moment. There's like a vogue of them. I can't remember what they're called now, but it's another one of them essentially. I can't remember what it's called top of my head, but
Jazzercise,
that sort of thing. I mean, I'm with Bill Hicks when it comes to Billy Ray Cyrus. He described him as a jarhead, no talent, cracker idiot when he was live on TV. And that was nice. That was the nice version. Trust me, that's the PG rated version of what he calls him.
Yeah.
The rest of it I can't repeat on this podcast for fear of getting cancelled. And the sad thing is, I'll put the link to the sketch that he did on one of the shows. Letterman, is it? One of them shows, not Letterman, the other one. But just prepare yourself for the routine. Hasn't aged so well, I have to say.
No. Neither is his song. His song is rubbish. And neither is his hair. His hair is hateful.
His mullet. My God, he commands a mullet, doesn't he? He's the mullet commander. He's the one. He's the boss man. He's the big man. He's the big mullet boss man. He's the mullet man.
He's the head cheese. He's the head mullet cheese.
He's the
cheesy mullet man. He's the cheesy mullet.
You're the big cheese mullet, the mullet man. You're the boss man, the hey number one, the big guy. I'd like to see a version of Escape from New York with Billy Ray Cyrus as the Duke of New York. I'm just like, for some reason, I feel like I need to see that.
Well, with his hair, he'd be a Snake Plissken almost, wouldn't he?
His hair is massive. It's so big, and that, honestly, that is a big mullet, isn't it? Even by mullet standards, that's
so
powerful.
Big and well grown. Yeah,
powerful. That
absolutely.
Is.
Yeah. He made Pat Sharp bow to him without
you had
doing
a mullet,
anything.
But your mullet was nowhere near that powerful.
It wasn't as mine was wild. His was well tamed. His was
yes, yes, it was.
Mine was freedom. Mine was Lion-O.
Yes, and of course, the Ray Cyrus parts may be the most interesting part about Billy Ray Cyrus, because of course his daughter's now very famous. Yeah, his daughter Miley, very popular.
Yeah. Yes,
and quite a talented singer actually. She's done some really good stuff. So let's be fair to her.
No problem. 26th of July, in at number 17 is "How Do You Do" by Roxette.
I do well, thank you. How do you do? Not so well in the charts, I imagine that. A bit weak.
Not with this song. You won't.
No,
very.
Sounds
weak.
Like slowed down Transvision Vamp.
No one wanted that.
No
one asked
for it.
Did. No
Not
one came
even
along and said they
Transvision
wanted
Vamp.
it. No. In at number 19 is "Book of Days" by Enya.
Oh, guess what film that's from?
Irish. It's from the Irish film.
It's from the Irish folk of Diddly Doy, the land of Diddly Doy.
My name's Tom Cruise, and I'm going to marry Nicole Kidman.
I want to know what she's saying. This is how I understood the song. Hey ho, hey lo, far and away. And I was like, oh, so she does say far and away in English, but the rest of it's in, I don't know, in sub-Irish audible folk, I guess. I don't know what language she's speaking. Maybe it's Celtic. She would say it was. There's nobody around who understands Celtic to argue with her. So nobody knows. She could be singing whatever she likes in Celtic. Could be the recipe for potato dip. We don't know what she's saying. What are you saying, Anya?
Own up. Own up to it.
Own up.
Own your language.
Your fake faux Irish semi-religious overtones of whatever the hell you're saying. I don't like it because I don't understand you.
But it's from Far and Away. Which is the Irish
far and away. Not far and away, it's har and a hey. Hey.
Yes.
Bloody Enya.
Yes, bloody Enya. And at number 26 is "No One Can" by Marillion. Clearly they can.
No one can. No, it's got to have two cans because not one can. It's just the T's missing. It was just when he was asking for drinks. I don't want not one can, two. So they made it into a song. Dreary clone of Marillion there now, isn't there, with Brian Ferry for some reason. Clone Brian Ferry. Brian, I don't know, tugboat.
It was very odd, this. It's so inoffensive, isn't it? So inoffensive. So much so I just got no strong feelings about it. I couldn't muster anything up. It's musical wallpaper in a pub.
That's such a good description. Musical wallpaper. Did they want to go down that road? Marillion, Kaylee Marillion. If someone said to them in a few years' time, you're going to be musical wallpaper in a pub, no wonder Fish left the band and swam out to sea or whatever he did.
Yeah, well, at least Fish, you sort of go, okay. I mean, that last Fish song wasn't too bad, but this is just so bland. It's like...
No, exactly. He jumped the keep net and swam to freedom. The rest of them are still in that keep net.
They still are. Bob Mortimer's got them. In at number 29 is, oh God. In at number 29 is "Those Simple Things," Daydream by Right Said Fred.
Awful.
This is a terrible, terrible thing, isn't it?
Yes, awful. They'd obviously heard "It Ain't Over" by Lenny Kravitz because that's basically what they've ripped off. And then it's got that, I don't know, man egg.
He's gone through he's gone through whatever she went through in Vija in Star Trek. He's gone through the same process she has. It's the male version of hair.
He's been assimilated into, now he's been Vija'd. Yeah, he's actually a mechanism. He's a full robot. Do you know, he is so smooth that's how they align Photoshop smoothing. They actually just, there's a mode on it called the Right Said Fred mode. You do that and it's like the smoothest it can be.
Yeah,
honestly.
We can get no smoother. Can we smooth this a bit more? No, it's had the Right Said Fred smoothing on it. You can't do any more.
There's zoom filters you can put on, and one of them's the Right Said Fred, and it just smooths you. It's almost like he's so smooth, it's ridiculous, and then it over brightens the colour. It's so saturated and smooth. I'm just like, wow, he is a smooth man. And not in a good way, you know. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice person. Not in a John Travolta
way. Not in a John Travolta sort of Saturday Night Fever way.
No.
Just in a like Humpty Dumpty way.
They say that they're really nice people, the Right Said Fredders, whatever his name was. They say they're really nice, genuinely cool, funny people. And I hope they are. They'd need to have a sense of humour for that. So
number 30, "Show You the Way to Go" by Danny Minogue.
Yeah.
So boring.
So boring. Brown, sepia, video, hour of shite. Lots more dancing under broken plumbing, it seems to me, in there.
Yeah,
She's clearly trying to emulate Kylie in this as well, the sound of Kylie. And she's not hitting those tropes on those notes, for that matter.
No. In at number 31 is "Don't Let It Go to Your Head" by the Brand New Heavies.
70s sentiments, but it's our shite, I'm afraid, where that's heading.
Yeah, probably. You've got more people in water, as you noted, but I was thinking it's July, isn't it? So maybe they're trying to cool down in the videos.
Yeah, it just seems to be a lot of buildings with broken plumbing and fixtures, it seems to me. Yeah. Just showers spraying water everywhere, people diving in them, brown everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, no. And at number 37 is "Runaway Train" by Elton John and Eric Clapton. Old Slow Hands and Honker. together at last.
Yeah, Elton John's hair, is that a wig? Maybe it's not. Is that a man in there or something?
I don't know.
It
like the cover of this magazine.
Sounded exactly like what would happen if you got those two together to create a song. It's exactly what it is. Sounds like Elton John singing with Eric Clapton singing. They sound like they're just singing side by side. There's no great union of talent there.
No.
So,
a bit boring. And finally, in at number 38, well, it's going to take a dark turn. Wishing on a Star by the Cover Girls. Basically, in the YouTube comments, there's a comment saying there's a lot of Brazilian people commenting on it, and I wondered why that was. So there's one of the comments says, to the rest of the world, Wishing on a Star is just a song. Here in Brazil, this song has a face and name, Daniela Perez. This song was the theme song for the character Yasmin, played by Daniela in the soap opera De Corpo e Alma. In real life, she was brutally murdered on December 28, 1992, stabbed to death by actor Guillermo del Padra, with whom she co-starred in the telenovela and his then wife, Paula Thomas. Wow, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, the telenovelas are massive in Brazil. I mean, we don't have anything that's even the equivalent of how much the hysteria is around them. Our soap operas are not even comparable to telenovelas over there. They're massive. And so that they would have been humongous stars over there, and that must have been crazy to happen. I mean, that is like Ken Barlow killing Deirdre for us.
For real.
I mean, I feel like I'm minimizing the impact of what was probably a very young person by saying that, but that's the kind of equivalency,
probably.
So young stars. But yeah, so sad really, I guess, because the song's just not very good slow dance stuff in it, but tragedy.
Let's get to the albums. Maybe try to cheer things up. 5th of July in at number 12. In at 5th of July at number 3 is A Life of Surprises, the best of Prefab Sprout.
Yeah, a cozy 10 minutes.
Yeah, best of, enough for an album? Really?
Aye.
Not just one of their albums?
Never a fan.
No. At number 8 is Good Stuff by the B-52s.
Told you it was coming.
Over to you on this one.
Well, it was the 6th studio album by B-52s. It was conceived after the band's manager, this is from the wiki, urged them to quickly issue a follow-up to the highly successful album Cosmic Thing, which is the turning point for their kind of sound in some ways. It was created without founding member Cindy Wilson, who was on a temporary hiatus. The album peaked at number 16, blah, blah, blah. Now, interestingly, so this was created in the wake of the departure of B-52's founding member Cindy Wilson. She left the band after the Earth Day performance, and she just basically had to take a break because they were long touring, big success, but she was feeling the pain of a brother who died, Ricky Wilson, and he was obviously another member of the band, a former guitarist. So she took a break to raise children, essentially. And she just did that out of the blue. The band didn't know that was going to happen. She just said to them, I'm quitting. At the end of a gig, I'm quitting. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. And so that was a bit of a shock. So they had to get Julie Cruz in to sing with the band and tour with them. And Julie Cruz, as of the singer from the theme for that TV show you and Gary really liked, it was Julie Cruz, wasn't it?
Was it? Didn't she do the theme to Crying Game? Did she do Crying Game?
No, it was she did the theme tune. I think it was Julie Cruz.
Julie Cruz. I'm thinking Julie Cruz, Twin Peaks.
She did Twin Peaks, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Good Stuff apparently came about because the record company sort of wanted them to push something out, which is kind of what we said, wasn't it? We said it was kind of felt a bit like that. And despite them being knackered, they recorded it. And this is what I didn't know. It was jointly produced by Nile Rodgers and Don Was, which makes sense when you think about it now. If you think of the sound that they had, that all of this is Nile Rodgers underneath that. You can tell. Yeah. Nile Rodgers has a very powerful, unique style. Amazing guy, amazing musician and producer. And you can sort of tell when he's involved. He does. He brings that kind of layer of Nile Rodgers to things. So
yeah, but it does make a bit more sense.
Yeah, it's a good album actually. Good stuff if you like that kind of thing.
If you like it. Number 30 is Asquarius by Cud, the third studio album.
No idea.
There you go. 12th of July in at number 1 was UFO by the UFO. Sorry, by the Orb.
About that. Yeah, lots of that. Synthy stuff.
In at number 3 is MTV Unplugged by Mariah Carey.
Weird.
So I had a bit of a read about this, and I thought it was just a hopping on the Unplugged bandwagon, but no. It seems that just reading the wiki, this was done to shut critics up who wondered if she was little more than a studio artist, as she did not tour her first 2 albums. So basically, in response to them going, your voice is in the studio, you can't do it live, and blah blah. Despite her doing some live one-offs, she didn't tour. So she arranged this and got this and did an unplugged version to kind of show them that she did have a very good voice, I guess. And they were like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
She was more than talking a badge.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Mariah Carey has got a very good voice.
Yeah, just a bit. I watched a sing-off duet between her and Ariana Grande, who is the only other singer who can actually hit those notes that Mariah Carey can hit, what they call the whistle pitch. So then they out-whistle pitched each other to the point when dogs were just like going, no more now.
It's like the that sequence in Scanners where heads are exploding.
It would have been, yeah, exactly that. But they're very talented, and I'm not sure who was unplugged. Maybe she was. I don't know.
Who knows? Number 5. Number 5 is Countdown to Extinction by Megadeth.
Yeah, just like the Pied Piper to release a song like that.
The 5th studio album. It was the group's second studio release to feature the classic lineup of Mustaine, Friedman, Ellison, and Menzer. You remember them?
Yeah, I remember one of them.
With all of them contributing to songwriting on the album. The album features some of the band's best known songs, Symphony of Destruction, Sweating Bullets, and Skin of My Teeth.
Yeah, they were popular. They were always on regular rotation at MTV at the time. I was never digging it. I've said before, I would never quite reached me.
No. Number 34 is Babe Rainbow by the House of Love. That's their third album by the House of Love. Never heard anything from it. Couldn't even tell you anything about it. In at number 72, though, was Doctor Who, The Evil of the Daleks by the BBC cast.
This must be I'm guessing it's to do with the mostly missing 9th and final series of the 4th season of the British show Doctor Who. That's from the wiki. So Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who back then, and there was a whole chunk of it missing. I can't remember why now. I think some of the BBC just destroyed stuff arbitrarily at the time and then sort of went, what happened to those tapes? Oh, no. You mean them ones that I put in the destroy them now box, not in the keep it forever box? Oh, no, should have studied. But I don't know if it's that or if it's the release of on CD of that, the audio recordings of that. I don't know. Maybe it's that. I'm guessing. I think it is.
Who knows? 19th of July is number 11, Full On, Mask Hysteria by Alternate.
No.
An album of that sound.
Yep, no thanks.
No. Number 12 is Back to Basics, The Essential Collection by Olivia Newton-John.
Does she have a lot of songs?
Yeah, you look at how many albums she's got. I went and had a look, and the discography is quite large. This is her third greatest hits album.
Wow, okay. I guess we just didn't get a lot of Olivia Newton-John over here, did we? Post Grease, really. So it was just all about Grease.
Yeah, this contained 4 new tracks. The lead single, I Need Love, which was produced by Giorgio Moroder. US Adult Contemporary Top 20 single, Deeper Than a River, Not Gonna Be the One. And a cover version of Brenda Lee's 1960 US number 1, I Want to Be Wanted.
Okay.
A tour was planned to promote the album, but had to be cancelled when she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, sad, but she's what eventually killed her.
Oh, well, yeah. God, this episode's taken a downturn, hasn't it? In at number 33, though, is Psalm 69. I'll say that again. Psalm 69.
Psalm 69.
Psalm 69.
Psalm 69.
Psalm 69 by Ministry.
Yes, The Way to Succeed and The Way to Suck Eggs.
Yeah.
As it's playing, or as it's otherwise known, which is the whatever that is. That high. I guess it's some kind of cipher, isn't it? I think it's. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Psalm 69, though. Good album. This very good album.
Yeah, seminal Ministry. Tour de force of an album. Produced by Al Jorgensen and the bassist, recorded in 1991 to 92. I don't know. There's a lot of different versions of Ministry over the years. They're a band that have changed. So if you go from the really early stuff, it's nothing like that. And then obviously you've got Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, which is my personal favourite Ministry album of all time, and still is, and remains so. And it's just sheer brilliance. And that kind of aggression that comes with that, it kind of fell into different territory with Psalm 69. It went more down the kind of Revolting Cox kind of style, maybe Motorhead even a little bit. It just went down that kind of more relentless guitar-led sort of metal sound, which is it's no problem. It's good. With songs like Just One Fix and things like that, and all of that.
NWO.
And NWO, and things like that. And they are amazing. And such a great opening track on the album, NWO, if we're going to say. And it's also got other tracks on there as well, which are really good. The classic sort of more...
I mean, Psalm 69 itself is a great track.
Again, that's actually a great track, and it's amazing live. They're an amazing band to see live for the short bursts that they do it. Gary and I went to see them when they were touring, and they were toured this, and they played for about an hour, I think, total, maybe even less at the Rock City, Nottingham. They didn't do a great show, and he was absolutely off his mind on drugs and alcohol at the time, so I don't think he even remembers where he was. Not Gary, that's Al Jorgensen we're talking about. Gary was fine. He might have been the same, I don't know. He did nearly literally explode because he had to hold a pee for that long. He did, yeah, on the way there.
On the way there, was it?
And luckily, we made a stop off, and I forget where it was, en route. And we was in like a minivan when we went with a company in Grimsby that was doing used to do tours. Forget the name of them now. They were famous for it, but we were in the minivan, and then when we pulled up to pick these people, the door slid. It's like a side door opening, and I think he just shot out there like a rat out of a trap. And I think he just peed. He just instantly went out and peed. I don't think he cared where he was, who was there. he just went out and peed. He was like a dog with distemper. It was bizarre.
That sounds like Gary.
It was just people like looking at it going, oh God, don't look at him. Don't look at him. And he was peeing for ages as well. Because when you hold it in, sometimes, men of the podcast will understand. Maybe women, I don't know too. Women seem to be able to hold it better than men. But he'd be able to, bless him, he was like tears in his eyes. I felt for him because we'd been out just before, we'd been to the pub and had about 3 pints. And then we got on this coach and he had 3 pints of lager swilling around in his belly, and it'd probably been Grolsch or something really gnarly. And then he needed to get that out of his system, and he held it in for miles. And honestly, he was crying on my shoulder. He was in that much pain. So when the door slid open, and thank God he stopped, because I think he would have just peed in the van. And he shot out there like a rat trap. He just started peeing, and it's like he couldn't stop. He was there for hours. It was like, and you could see the driver getting really like, is he ever coming back? It's really funny. It was way longer than it should have been. It's like, goodness me. It's like, and I was like, is he finished? I'm like, is he coming back? I'm like, yeah, it's just, he was a bit desperate. He went, bloody hell, what is he, a camel? Anyway, yeah, very good band, very good album. One of my favourite bands in a way, but not so much recently to some extent, although the last album was good. But it is a really good album, and it's classic Ministry stuff if you like it.
So the
Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow's an track. It's
yeah.
They always do kind of a big more instrumentally one. I know they're not what you call classically lyrical, but that one is their big one on that, and it is very, very good. So
very good.
Definitely worth a listen. Really worth a listen.
In at number 26th of July, in at number 6 is Dirty by Sonic Youth, the 7th full-length studio album.
Number 7.
This inspired by the popularity of grunge music at the time.
Very much
described as experimental rock. There you go.
Maybe it is.
And at number 32 was Turns into Stone by the Stone Roses. It's interesting. It was a compilation album, obviously by the Stone Roses, singles and B-sides that did not feature on the self-titled debut album. The album's release was surrounded by controversy, though, as the Roses were in the middle of a legal battle with their then record label Silvertone. An injunction prevented the band from releasing any new material for several years afterwards, during which Silvertone released several singles without the band's consent, including 2 alternate versions of Fool's Gold, along with tracks from the first album that the band had never intended to be singles, such as the edited version of I Am the Resurrection, featuring a drum machine instead of Rennie's distinctive drumming.
How random is that? That's what I mean. You don't own things in the record industry, do you? Somebody owns your recordings. You don't own them.
No. Mad. And finally, at number 69, It's a Shame About Ray by the Lemonheads. I was amazed to find this was their 5th album, the Lemonheads.
I'm amazed right now.
I was like, Christ on a bike. But produced by they're not originally on the album. The band's cover of Simon and Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson was added to the album later pressings when it became a major worldwide radio hit. Features a late line for the band with Nick Dalton on bass. Yeah. So
I wonder why they released that.
There you go.
Off a film? Is it off a film, maybe?
Well, it's just a cover. They just did a cover of Mrs. Robinson.
I know there's a version of it on Wayne's World. I'm just wondering if it was maybe their version.
Quite possibly. Yeah, quite possibly.
Interesting.
I don't know, but it's good though. And there you go. That's it for the music. Some interesting stuff there. I think Psalm 69 is probably the highlight.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah, and that Susie and the Banshee song, which is good as well. Face to face. We're going to go away, take a quick break. We still have 3 games to get through, and the quality, well, it's not high, but we'll fill you in the details after this break.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Growing up in the 80s is a chore for Sarah, who feels misunderstood by her parents and badgered by Reese, her bothersome brother who incessantly prattles on about his treasured computer games. When Reese tells her one of the games tried to pull him inside the computer, she laughs off his fanciful fib. She waggles the joystick to disprove his fairy tale and is pulled into the computer. Now trapped in games she'd never had any interest in playing, how can she possibly beat them? With the help of feisty Nell, another trapped player, can Sarah find her way back home, or is it game over? An evil madman, a hostile planet, bloodthirsty robots, a never-ending throng of karate experts, and relentless digital soldiers will do their best to ensure Sarah never escapes. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, find out if there's a way out of the beige bread bin of betrayal for Sarah in Escape from the Commodore 64.
And we're back for the final part this week. This is 3 more games. The first one of those, Graham, is DJ Puff's Volcanic Capers, don't you know?
Yes.
It's another budget title, this, from Codemasters. And as we've been seeing recently, this could be a hit or a miss. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know.
You can never tell.
You can't. You got 72% in the magazine, but again, that could mean anything. These scores are arbitrary. The developer here is Reflective Designs. We've seen them before. Santa's Xmas Caper, Phileas Fogg's Balloon Battles, and Bubble Dizzy. Again, a wide swinging quality there. Coded by Duncan Scott Kershaw. He did Santa's Xmas Caper and a load of other stuff that we've never seen or were never even released. We've probably spoken about before. Graphics are by Jonathan Smith. He did CJ's Elephant Antics. Can't you tell? Phileas Fogg, Spike in Transylvania, Bubble Dizzy, and the music is by Gerard Gurley. We've heard him before. Assault Course and Outlaw, Spook, and other bits and bobs. I've no idea who DJ Puff is or what his volcanic capers are, but the story to this game goes like this, according to the interior of the inlay. DJ Puff. Puff lives on an island with all his raving mates. Unfortunately, the evil dictator, Captain Crip, boo hiss, has banned everyone from having a good time. He's ordered his guerrilla army to go and nick all of DJ's Fabby CD collection and chuck them to the four corners of Volcano Island. This has made Puff go bonkers. In fact, he's gone raving mad. He parks up his bike and goes off to grab his CD collection back. Captain Crip is going to be well sorted after Puff's finished with him. Who wrote this?
Wrote this nonsense.
Some of the meanies that Puff will meet on his journey: the ginormous Jelly Baby, Fashion Boy the Aztec Indian, Buck Teeth the boggle-eyed bad bird, Oliver the snapperfish, Triple-pronged Pete the Aztec spear chucker, Mags the devil, and Douglas the snail. And some hints and tips, Graham. Learn the map to find your way around. Collect the bomb icons. Collect the bomb icons. The bombs will run out eventually. Eat the fruit to gain extra energy. Try to find the secret bonuses hidden in the game. There you go. I presume there's a volcano on the island or something. I don't know. There ain't one in the game, but who cares? The game has a nice loading screen. Shows the little dragon with his motorbike and some CDs. This whole thing is weird, though. He looks like some kind of rockabilly. It's very odd. You know, he's got
very strange.
It's just weird. And then we get the title screen. Got a really nice logo. I really like the logo on this kind of flickering flame effect. It takes up a large part of the screen. It was really nice. I was like, that's a good logo. Nice effect, like that. Some credits under that. Game's UI at the bottom. It also flicks to screens from the game as well. Nice arcade-like touch, that. All right. And to top it all, we've got a really melancholic piece of music. Melancholic music week, isn't it?
It really is.
I'm not sure it fits the game. It's quite a bit twee, but it is quite nice, though. And I enjoyed listening to it a couple of times. I thought it was all right, I have to say. Once you've listened to that, let's get to the game. There's no way around this. It's a blatant reskin of CJ's Elephant Antics.
Yeah, isn't it just?
Just with some new stuff to collect and maybe some little bit of different level layouts a little bit. But, you know, it felt very similar to me, this. No end bosses, though. So kind of changed things up, but it's just more of a straightforward platformer for most of it. It's a cutesy platformer in looks that obviously owes its existence to, like, CJ's New Zealand story, I guess. So it's taking elements from that. It's going for that very sort of small sprites, cutesy look, that kind of thing. You think CJ's Elephant Antics, New Zealand story, you won't be far off. You control DJ Puff, the usual controls, left and right to move, up to jump. Fire spits out a fiery boomerang at first, and holding fire, that fires at first. So you've got two sort of power moves here. You've got the first one, which you have from the start, which is like you hold the fire button down, and this fires like a breath of flame, you know, flames from your mouth. Kind of like Clyde in Creatures, reminding me of that. Doesn't he do that?
Yeah.
Hold down the fire button and does that. So it's basically that. But you can also pick up bombs, like in CJ's Elephant Antics. And you perform both of these with down and fire. You only have a limited number of them, though, on the UI. The game takes up most of the screen, the UI at the bottom. Very nicely designed out. I really like the design of this UI. Some nice graphics in this game, I have to say. It shows your remaining lives in the middle. There's a little sort of picture of you, there's a little dragon. Got your score to the left. There's an empty box to the right, which I'll explain what goes in there in a moment. And there's a number of CDs left to collect, usually 4 on each level, and the remaining bombs or fiery breaths you have left. The game plays exactly as you'd expect it to. You control DJ Puff around the level, shooting and avoiding enemies, breathing fire on them, or throwing bombs at them as you try to collect the 4 CDs that are dotted about. Once you've collected them all, you need to find the exit, and that takes you to the next level. There are 5 in total, and on the last one, should you make it that far and get to the end of it, you face off against a giant pig, which is Captain Crip, I presume, before the game just straightly loops back to the beginning, so you can do it all again if you want. And, you know, there's not much more to say about it. It's a blatant rip-off of CJ's.
It is.
You know, as you could find, there's no two ways around it. It's such a, you know, oh, you wanted CJ's, there's more of it. That's not to say it's not without its own charms. I think I didn't go look at CJs, but I think some of the sprites here might be some of the same, the backgrounds as well. But I did quite like some of them. The running jelly baby one, I really liked that one. He's sort of running about with a big smile on his face. And I thought that was a really nicely animated little sprite. It looked cool. And there are some other ones. There's the shrimps and stuff, which I'm sure we've seen before. But, you know, as far as budget platformers go, if you want more CJ, then here you are, I guess. You know, play this.
True.
There's some nice visual touches throughout. And the levels contain things like travelators, moving platforms, and very tight gaps and big jumps as the game progresses, and everything you'd expect. It's a tricky platform. DJ Puff controls well enough. I just thought his jump was a bit on the slow and floaty side. Could have done with being a bit snappier.
Yes, I noted that.
Because sometimes you'll jump to sort of hit something, but they'll turn around and fire off at you, and you'll die because you can't control it to get back down to earth quick enough. It's just not quite snappy enough for me. Because you'll die to this. And everything else in the game will kill you as well, because this game takes no prisoners. It may look all nice on the outside, but this game is really hard. Really hard. You've got 5 lives per level on this, and you can get extra ones. Starting around the level, there's the word extra, and that fill up that empty box. So you might get an extra one if you're lucky, but you will chew through those lives in no time. And it'll be game over for you time and time again. This game is rock hard. Stupidly. So some of that is annoying as well, because there's a number of times you've got to make leaps of faith. I was seeing the leaps of faith again, Graham. The leaps of faith. And usually this ends up, it'll end up with you landing on an enemy you didn't know was there, or some spikes you didn't know were there. And the level designs do tend to err on the cruel and punitive rather than the enjoyable and friendly. And this only gets worse as you go on. So it gets trickier and trickier. Just actually getting through the first level is a task in and of itself. Getting through all 5, my God. I watched a long playthrough of this. It's just so hard later on. It's ridiculous. I don't think you could do this without some kind of tool assist. There's trickery going on in them long plays. We all know there is. But Christ on a bike, this is tricky. This is hard. The weird thing is, though, there's some nice graphics and nice stuff going through. And then you get to level 5, and it's a direct rip-off of Ghosts and Goblins. Second level with the blue towers and the platforms. I mean, exactly. I'm not talking like it's inspired by. It is those graphics. It's those circular sort of towers and those platforms. I don't know what happened. They've just taken them out, changed the colours slightly from like the white across the top to blue,
very slightly. Yeah,
but I posted a screenshot, didn't I, in the thing and go, look at this and compare them, compare and contrast. It's the same bloody visuals. I mean, maybe they thought that nobody's getting to level 5 because it's so goddamn hard that nobody will ever notice it. But, I was really surprised when I saw them. I was like, that's just Ghosts and Goblins. What's happened here? It's really strange because they don't fit in with the rest of the aesthetic of the game at all. Doesn't fit the platforms and the look of the feel of the first 4 levels. It feels really out of place. So it's like, we need a 5th level. I ain't got anything drawn. I'll just nick them out of Ghosts and Goblins. That'll do. Because even the platform bits you run on even have the same sort of snowy effect, and it's exactly the same, exactly to the pixel.
Yep.
So that's really weird. Anyway, very poor show. Anyway, It's probably worth the score it got in Zap. It's 70%. It looks and sounds nice. And someone pointed out in Zap, the in-game tune is very reminiscent of Hello Dolly. Did you notice that for some reason?
Yeah, it is a bit.
It goes da 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 da. It's like,
it is very actually.
Yeah, it's like, that's Hello Dolly. That's very weird. And yeah, it is.
A bit.
But at least it's got some in-game music to sort of trundle along to. It's really rock hard. If you want a rock hard sort of cutesy platformer, then, here you go. It is very harsh on the harsh side in terms of level design. Some of the collision detection's a bit thingy, and it leads to frustration far too quickly unless you love things like this. If you like things like Hercules and stuff like that, then you probably get on with this. I didn't hate this. I just got frustrated with it. It needed to be a little more approachable. At least it doesn't put you back at the beginning of the level when you die, though. You just carry on from where you got killed.
Yes, instantly, which is good. I'll give it that.
Yeah, so typical budget issues, really. A bit of lack of care and attention, bit of lack of play testing. Only one, probably the developers only played this and couldn't make their way through it. Some hits and bits, but if you want more CJ's Elephant Antics, it's like CJ's Elephant Antics sort of Super DX version, triple mega hard mix, and that's what this is. So if you like that kind of thing, you'll probably dig this. But if you like your platformers a bit more approachable, you'll probably get frustrated with this quite quickly. But I didn't hate it. It's just really rock hard. What did you think?
Yeah, the same. I mean, I thought it looked and sounded okay. I'll give it that. It needed sound effects, I felt, but the music mechanic rumbled on. it's neat. There's a neat playable, albeit unoriginal game in there. My bugbear was the pace, which felt needlessly floaty and pedestrian, like you said. Had it been faster, this would have felt and sort of played better. And then it wouldn't have needed to masquerade. Yeah, it wouldn't have needed to masquerade the gameplay with lots of jumping onto small blocks, which is kind of what the game feels like it is, just a lot of. Lots of jumping onto tiny little things.
Yeah.
And so that's what they've supplemented it with. And so because it's slow and ploddy, it makes that very unexciting. Now, I'm not saying do more of that. I'm saying make the jumping faster and do less of that. It just feels like the pace is just too, hello, I'm a floaty dragon. The decent sprite design in here, very Mario-like in some of the enemy types, but also very of that other game, like you said, exactly that, really. But it's that pace. It's just, I think it's the compromise too far for me. Music was jaunty and okay. Decent production value is in here. It was just slow jumping isn't exciting, and that kind of kills a game of this type. It needs a faster pace than that. Otherwise, forget it. It's just a non-starter. So it might be a volcanic caper, but I felt that it was just a bit slow. It was just too slow to make it fun, and slow jumping, slumping. No one wants that, does it?
No one wants
to be a slumper.
No, you're a dragon. It needs, snappier jumping would have made this a lot better, and maybe not quite so hard.
Exactly.
But for a budget platformer, it's all right. It's not bad. Yeah. It probably, like I said, deserves that 70% mark, 70 oddish. I'd have given it, but it's where I'd have put it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah.
There we go. That's DJ Puff's Volcanic Capers, or DJ Puff as it's otherwise known, or whatever it is. That's the first platform of this part. We're going to move on to another one right now. And Graham, well, it's over to you to tell us all about the Addams Family.
Okay. The Addams Family. Yay. Right, okay. So this was from Ocean, of course. Of course it was Ocean. And this was published in 1992. This was designed by Andrew Deakin and Ivan Horn. I couldn't find code credits anywhere for that. Musician was Dean Evans. He did Phobia, if you remember that. Now, the design of the game was the only one that they're listed for in Lemon. So just before we get into what this is, the Addams Family, what is it? It's a gothic comedy centered on the delightfully macabre Addams clan, a wealthy and loving family who relish all things dark, bizarre and morbid while remaining utterly oblivious to how strange they appear to the outside world. Originally adapted from Charles Addams' New Yorker cartoons in the 1964 to 1966 TV series, played their deadpan humor against conventional suburban America, finding comedy in contrast rather than malice or satire. The franchise has since expanded into multiple films, notably Addams Family Values and Addams Family, which leaned into the sharper satire and character-driven humor, cementing Wednesday and Uncle Fester as cultural icons, apparently. Later adaptations included animated films in 2019 and 2021, a more recent spin-off series, Wednesday, which reimagines the universe through a mystery-led, teen-focused lens. All across incarnations, the enduring appeal lies in the same core idea. The Addamses may look monstrous, but they are fiercely loyal, emotionally healthy, and oddly aspirational, making everyone else seem like a little strange in comparison. The Addams Family. That's the Addams Family.
Maybe we were the monsters all along.
I wonder who the real cannibals are. I said, just forget. That'll make Gary laugh. So the scenario, then, according to the blurb, the 64 blurb, or at least the blurb, it says, creepy, kooky, ooky, spooky. The Addams Family have been imprisoned. Only Gomez can save the day by freeing his wife Morticia, his son Pugsley, his daughter Wednesday, Granny, Lurch, and Thing. He must search the Addams Family mansion, grounds, and subterranean vaults and rescue them one by one. Strange creatures and crazy monsters lurk around every corner and in every crevice. And only one thought, with only one thought in mind: stop Gomez. Only his innate agility will aid him as he leaps and bounds around the mansion. Let me just tell you something about Gomez. He is quite an athletic guy when he wants to be, famously, but he doesn't really, I wouldn't say leaps and bounds around the mansion at any point, really. No. It's a bit of a, it's pushing the limits of what it's about. So anyway, the gameplay then, what you got to do, to rescue the 6 members of the Addams Family, Gomez must explore the house, its grounds, and finally the subterranean labyrinth, which is overrun by a variety of ghouls, monsters, and supernatural manifestations. Some of these can be destroyed by jumping on top of them, but others are to be avoided as they are invulnerable, and contact other than by a well-aimed stamping means trouble for Gomez. To explore the house and its surrounding fully, Gomez will need to go through the doors that are behind and in front of him. To go through, Gomez must stand behind a foreground doorway and press A to go backward, and then he must stand in front of a doorway and press Q, which is actually just up and down on the joystick. Some of the doorways are blocked by coloured locks, and to open them, gamers must find the same coloured key. Once a coloured key has been collected, all doors of that colour will be opened. Scattered throughout the game are many useful items, many wonderful items, such as extra life trophies, stamina hearts, and keys. To find and release the members of his family, Gomez will need to find the location of many of these. Once Gomez has located a family member, they will set him a survival test to prove that he is not an imposter. When all 6 members of the family have been rescued and their tests completed, they will be able to return to their abnormal lives. There you go. Interesting, isn't it?
Very.
Okay, so that's really what you've got to do, and that's what it's kind of all about. Is a bold start to things here, a decent rendition of the theme from the Addams Family for once. They've actually used the actual theme. The fire button gets you into the game, if you like, so you get the nice decent, okay-ish looking logo at the start on the title screen. It's all right. Mm-hmm. The game window, when it starts, has the colourful but cluttered UI at the bottom, detailing life, score, and energy in the form of love hearts that deplete over time and needs to be topped up, something which we don't like in these kind of games. Depleting energy just by the feature just existing in the game. Don't like that.
No.
Above this is also the super colourful and delightfully medium res background detail. It does look okay if a tad busy and condensed. Very colourful, over colourful, one might say. The Gomez sprite is on its own there, but it's in high res. And so because it's in high res, it kind of looks a bit lost in the medium res colour blast. So it kind of gets a bit lost in the details, I think, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. You control them with the joystick, as I said, left and right per normal, up and down is in and out of the doors, and fire is jump. Unusually, fire is jump. They aim then, of course, climb around the flick screen levels in what is essentially a Jet Set Willy Manic Miner Monty on the Run kind of escapade. Find the keys and the rest of your family. Don't touch the things that you shouldn't, or they will kill you. In the classic tradition of such things, most are hazards, enemies, or things that just plain get in your way, and of course there are annoying jumps to contend with. Pixel perfect jumps at that, or leaps of faith as well. And if you die, and you will die, you will have an annoying trick of going back to the most recent door that you went through, which is a nightmare for a game like this. Really annoying, that is. Why not just start where you left off? I mean, most games get that right. The previous one did. Even Impossible Mission managed that, in 1984? Yeah. Anyway, the backgrounds are well realised, I guess, if somewhat overcoloured, but they do look quite good. I'll give it that. They're just busy, and it makes it quite a challenge to navigate. The rooms are plentiful, and so mappers are going to be very happy indeed, I would have thought, with this, if they can actually see for more than 5 minutes. There's no in-game music, which is a Category 1 mistake. Just something atmospheric was needed for this, and particularly this. And of course, the gameplay is very difficult. In the Cauldron 2 realms of difficulty, I would say. Not maybe with the bouncing, but no, it's not very forgiving, this game. And that kind of just makes it all plain unfun, doesn't it? And that, Adrian, is the clincher with this. There could have been a good game in here with some more player affordance, better sprite design realization, less clutter, some in-game music. Instead, we have something that is over-difficult, oversaturated, and underwhelming as a result. It takes what could have been a really fun Mario-style platformer. If you're going to go that way, you may as well go that way. But it turns it into a really boring, generic Jet Set Willy clone, and not in a very good clone at that. Where are the Addams Family quirks? Why make a game about the family, the Addams Family, and then have them all missing from the game? We've seen this happen before with Scooby-Doo. Why not create multiple ways to play the game with different characters, or have different levels for the different characters, or have them all achieving different things, or switching between the characters? Why not do that? Why do it like this, where you have one player hunting the rest of the family in a mansion? We've seen this game trope so many times. It's rubbish. This could and should have unfolded in a much better way. There's so much mileage in the Addams Family, it's ridiculous. But like many games that have been released around this time and in perhaps time historic, it's just an empty experience with a badge. So much opportunity with all those fun characters in the Addams Family. And this is what they made? I say boo, and not in a spooky ghost way. I'm not very impressed with it. I'm not very impressed with it at all. I thought it was mundane, dreary, and a waste of a license yet again. And I don't quite know where they were trying to go with it. Were they going to go down the Mario road? Then stick to that and do that. But you didn't. In the end, you got a game that's delightfully, visually compelling in a way, but also in a way that makes it so you can't really see anything in the game. And there's no fun inside of that, is there? But that was what I thought. Not very good. And it certainly didn't what did it get in Zapped for the score? It got something fairly average, 57%. That's probably actually maybe where it should live. Maybe they got that one about right. I don't know. Probably a bit generous, but I didn't like playing the game. It's a pretty hateful experience as it goes. So no, not for me this, which is a shame. I don't really like the Addams Family, I'll be honest, as a thing. It wasn't really my thing. I wasn't born at the time when the Addams Family would have been, and I wasn't born in Middle America in the 60s or whatever it was. And I never quite got into the goth mojo of it. It needed, the director of the films, I always felt it needed a Beetlejuice-style director. What's his name? It needed somebody like that to direct this kind of
Tim
film.
Burton.
It needed a Tim Burton to direct the Addams Family, didn't it, really?
Maybe.
But I don't know. I don't know. This is a far cry from the film anyway, and certainly a far cry from the TV series. So, no, not for me. The Addams Family, I think it's, no. What about you?
Who designed this? What were they thinking? I think I 57%. No. I don't even know where to start with this horror show. I don't mean the setting or the show itself or anything like that. This is an awful, awful flick screen nightmare of a thing where every screen is a displeasure to navigate. I hated it. Am I supposed to be Gomez? I guess I am, but I couldn't really tell. And the shit spread of sprites that populate the game. What? It's just random sprites. Those skulls on the first screen. Like, what are they? Massive skulls. Like, oh, just ugly. Sound effects that accompany them are like a day in hell.
Yep.
Those sort of those maces or those spike balls that go across. I was like, oh my God's sake.
No.
The controls aren't too bad, but Gomez jumps too high. It's not consistent, which enemies you can jump on top of to kill, which is a pain in the ass. You can either jump on them or you can't. You can jump on some, but you can't jump on others. That just breaks the whole thing. Or make it clear why you can't. And if you do kill me, because it does kill you, as soon as you jump on, it kills you, stop sending me back to the start of the sodding section to do it all again.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay? Because it's not my fault. You haven't communicated to me. It's your fault, game. Yours. Quite frankly, if I continue to play this thing, I'd have smashed the screen. I found this really frustrating and annoying. Way more than Chuck Rock. Way more than Puss. I actively hated this thing. Genuinely was like, what is this horror? I didn't like the graphics. I thought the graphics were, like you said, they're colourful, overly colourful. It's like I can't make anything out. Compare this to something like we didn't particularly like the game, but the backgrounds in Gremlins 2, which were better. This is just, and the problem is with this is I don't know where anything's going. There was one point it was like I was supposed to jump. I'm like, am I supposed to jump on this pot? Oh no, I'm dead. I'm back to the beginning again. I've got to sort out these knights and the sort of noise they make, and just turn this damn thing off.
Yeah. Awful,
hateful, wretched piece of arse. Another nail in the coffin of Ocean Software. Once again, proved to be purveyors of crap licenses. A pox on them. No. It's made me physically angry again. I can't be doing this. 11 quid.
Yeah, it ain't good.
God. I don't know if the Amstrad version, the Spectrum version, or the multitude of other versions are any good, but this Commodore 64 version is just a dreadful nightmare. Yeah, there you go. I hated it. I really couldn't stand it. It's like, you just awful thing. Yeah. And I like the Addams Family. I like the Addams Family more than you. I like the two films. I think Barry Levinson was a good choice for him. I think the actual, Addams Family and Addams Family Values are really a fun and enjoyable pair of films. This, certainly not. And you're right. Where's the rest of the cast? And also, what's happened to Gomez on the loading screen?
Yeah. Actually, we never talked about the loading screen. That is quite funny.
You need to talk about the loading screen.
Yeah,
because Gomez looks like he's having problems in the corner. Morticia looks like she's in Kiss. And Fester looks like he's escaped from Right Said Fred.
Yeah, and why is Wednesday yellow?
Yeah, and is that Pugsley?
I don't know. It looks really weird. I'm not sure what that is. It's really weird.
It looks like a slug with the Pugsley's face.
I think someone's drawn that by eye, haven't they? They haven't got a picture in front of them. They've just said, right, so Morticia's a bit of a goth. Gomez is kind of this kind of looking. They just described it, and that's what he's drawn based on the description.
It suffered massively from C64 wide pixeling.
It has, because the thing looks like a foot.
I thought that was the granny's hand on him. Oh, that's Sting, isn't it?
No, that's Thing. Yeah,
that's a foot.
Thing has got a wrist, so that should have more wrist.
Yeah,
because it's not just a hand up to the sort of the short part of the base of your thumb. It's actually up, sort of got a little bit of about an inch and a half of wrist, but it's not on there, so it looks like a top of a foot.
And Lurch is as wide as three people. I don't think I know he was tall, but he's not. He was tall, not wide.
On the C64, he's wide, and that's all
everything's
you need to
wide.
Know. He's wide.
But that sets you up for the whole thing. Gomez in the bottom left corner. What's happened to him?
He's so wide right now.
He's not happy. There you are. This game was crap. There we go. That's the Addams Family rubbish. Let's move on. We've still got one game left this week. And this one got 80%. Let's see if it's any good. And this is The Match. $3.99, 80%. Why do I get these? Why have I got them two in a week? 2 in 2 weeks.
You just do.
I know, why? It's another football management sim by those masters of the genre, Cult Games. Somehow making its way into the page of the magazine, so cover it we must. This is simply the match. So it's called. It was created by Nick Thompson. He also did Scottish League football in 1993, which looks like it uses a lot of what we have here, if I'm perfectly honest. Why not, I suppose? You've written the code, use it again. Anyway, okay, right. Upon loading, we've got some options to load a save game, begin a new one, change the points for a win from 3 to 2 if you want, and turn the sound off or on. Okay. All this is keyboard controlled. If we begin a new season, we enter our name and pick a team from a choice of 40 real-world teams. That's quite good, isn't it? If the team you want is not there, you can alter the name of the one existing one. So I had Eggtown. They were introduced to the Football League.
Hey, Egg, go Egg.
Yeah, we then get told our next fixture before we make it to the main options screen. As I said, it's all keyboard controls with highlighted keys to press, to move around. Select options, go back, and so on and so forth. Just various keys. On the main screen, we have info at the top. There's the sort of game's logo in the middle. It also tells us the week, the morale of the team. Mine always seems to go down. The season we're in, the league position, and the division we're in as well. Then we have the name of the team and the manager name. Obviously, don't forget you can put your own name in. So it's I was AD of Eggtown. That was good. And you got your next opponents. Opponents is spelt wrong.
Yeah.
It was
spelled not strength, is it, for them?
No, it's spelled opponents. Okay. Test your games. When it's so much text, test them.
Test them out, for goodness sake.
Under that, we have our options. So we can change the team, check the bank, do some training, check with the physio, see the current league table, check the market, see the season's fixtures, save the game, quit, and go to the next match. Okay.
Yeah.
So, changing the team allows us to change the formation of the team and swap players in or out.
It does.
A word of warning here, if you're going to play it, you do not start with subs in the team, and your players are made of glass. 4 of mine were injured in the first game, and I had no subs to replace them with. I thought there'd be subs already in there. No. So, go and add subs. I mean, you can only add 2. It wouldn't have really mattered. Not that you'll know who to add, though, because the only stats you get here are their position, their age, goals scored, whether they are presently picked, and their rating, and that just says 0. And I'll come to that one later on because that's one of the quirks of this game. You can also change the names of players here if you want to. So you can put your own teams in if you want. It's that, and you can change formation and all those kind of things. The bank option shows your cash status and allows you to get a loan if you want. You can hire a scout to get some info on the upcoming opposition. Not that it means anything, and raise the prices of seat tickets if you want. I went from £2 to £3. Ooh. Training allows you to set any player to train on either their handling, tackling, passing, or shooting. You get some info from the trainer when you first go in there. Remember it, because you'll never see it again. It's like, Parkins needs training on his shooting. Smith needs training on his handling. So-and-so needs training on this. You're like, okay. You go in and you're like, who needed what? And then you come back out and you go back in. It doesn't tell you again. I told you once.
You don't need to know more than once.
Thanks. I don't know if it makes any difference. You set them to training. Like, oh no. The physio will tell you who's injured and how long your players are injured for. Obviously, at the start of the season, no one's injured. After the first game, I had 4 players out. The league table does that. It shows you the league table for for your league. Market allows you to buy or sell players. You cannot buy anyone though to start with because you get told you've got a full squad. So you have to sell someone if you want to buy anyone. Okay. You put a bid in for them and you might get them, you might not. Fixtures show those for the season. So it's just a list. So Eggtown versus Doncaster, Swindon versus Eggtown. It's just a list of 20 games or however many it was. Save or quit, do what it says on the tin. Yeah, it's what. So once you've picked your team, you've sorted some players out with no stats. You go to the next match. You get told some options here. So the greater than and less than keys, and these work on the keyboard, speed up or slow down the game pace, and spacebar pauses it. The match screen, when you get to it, has a display of the pitch in the middle. It's got all the players on the pitch represented by character graphics. This kind of takes up about 3 or 4? Well, it's about 5 characters high, is it? Something like that in the middle across the screen. Like that. At the top, you've got the match stats, the teams who are playing, the score, your attendance, time played, type of game, whether it's a league or cup game, and whether you're a home or away. At the bottom, we have the text display, which describes the action if we cannot follow it on the visual display. So the visual display does have all 22 players on there, and they move about. You can press S to access your substitutes at any time. Can't change formation, though, or anything like that. You just put another sub in. And you can also enter the assessments. What's the assessments, I hear you ask now? Remember that rating stat for the players, which are all set at 0. Okay. So the assessments is where you can change that. You have to enter that as you watch the games. They all start at 0, as I said. But as you watch the games, you might notice one of those character graphics really good at scoring and the like. So you put his rating up, and that's how you figure out who to have in your team. So you've got to actually rate them by watching the games. So how do you do that? Just some character graphics moving around and some text going up at the bottom. Has missed the tackle. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The visual display shows the players moving about. It draws lines from player to player as they pass the ball. And that's it kind of thing. Your game plays out. 90 minutes pass. You can speed it up, slow it down. If you speed it up, it goes really fast. If you slow it down and watch on, it's not in real time, but it's slow enough. You press space if you're thinking, I need to sort something out here. You can't change anything. Can't change formation or strategy. You can just do a sub. Makes no sense. And you don't know how good they are anyway. The visual display shows the players moving about, draws lines, and said, now, if you're into this kind of thing and you like watching character graphics play a game of silent football, you're going to be in heaven as you make notes on who passes to who and who dodges tackles and who couldn't hit the side of the barn with their shots and so on. And you put all your own ratings in. However, if you're not, and that's probably 99% of the population, probably 99.9, then you're never going to know what the best team is or who to buy or anything like that. And on top of that, it's really boring to watch a text and character-based representation of 4th Division football. Watching it in real life is often dull enough, but this way, no. Anyway, when the game ends, you get the results from all the divisions and it's back to the main screen to do it all again. 80% this got. 80%. Madness. 80%. They were going like, being able to follow the game and watch it, put your own stats in, that's really great. No, it's crazy. Not. No, I don't think for a moment there's anything going on under the hood by random numbers. What if you rate all your players really highly? Does it make a difference? Don't think it did. I watched my players continuously boot the ball off the pitch. They get the ball in the middle of the pitch and just kept kicking it off for a throw-in. I was like, you're an idiot. Who are you? So he's already rated at 0. So what difference can I make? How can I rate these?
Yep.
Right. One of the fundamental aspects of a football management game is that the players are rated by the game, so you can make informed decisions. How do you pick a team when it's just a list of names with nothing to differentiate them? What does it matter at that point? You can't do it. I'll give it credit. You can speed the game up so it passes in seconds. But then, does that not negate the point of the game, the ethos of it, in that you have to analyse moment to moment to know how good the players are? So why would you speed it up? It's because you can't then know. Who do you know how to pick?
Exactly.
It's an interesting approach. I'll give it that. It's cavalier and novel, but the players need ratings to start with. And if you notice them being rubbish or getting better, you can change accordingly. But there's no real evidence that rating actually does anything. So what's the point?
You're not wrong.
I don't get it. At the end of the day, it just seems like cult games. It does seem like cult games have got better at this kind of thing. It runs at least in machine code. It runs speedily. The controls all work. There's nothing like that. But it's still poor. It still falls short for me, this. And the USP for this, rate your own players. Very ill-advised at best. You can't do that in a football game. Imagine if you got Football Manager 25 or 26 and it went, put your own ratings in. Like, what? I don't know who these players are. There's thousands of them. Yeah, you can sort them out. You can sort them out. How do you know? You have to. It says in the Zapped review, you have to play the first few games, put in all the different players to see how they played to get your best ones. But how do you know? How can you tell? It's just ridiculous. A football management game needs ratings. It needs to tell you how good the players are. You've got to have that information. Imagine if you were a manager at a real football team and you went in and they went, right, who's our best player? We're not going to tell you. Just pick a team from these names. That don't help. I'll be fired in about 3 games. No, you won't. You got to rate them yourself when you watch them. I don't know who to pick. Stupid system, stupid idea, stupid. I don't get it. I don't know why anyone thought this was a good thing. You can't tell how good players are from 22 character graphics randomly jerking about with lines in between them. So, no. In fairness, no. They can't. It's a broken system, so it's a crap football management game.
Yeah.
There you go. What did you think?
I mean, my initial thought was, what's different here besides the typeface and moderate changes to the layout? Everything else feels like we've seen this like how many times now?
Too many.
And then, of course, the novelty of the little bits of graphic that there are in there and and all the rest of it and the diddly noises and stuff like that. And then when the match finally appeared and it was that sort of sky-high view of a Subbuteo table, I'm like, okay, so they've clearly seen Subbuteo because that's kind of what that was.
Yeah.
And okay, maybe that's better than nothing, I suppose. And then it was just basically nothing. I thought, maybe they'll move around and they'll be a little bit, no. It just went all Warhammer, where it was lines saying, that player's able to go 17 lines forward. And And then it was just at the bottom. I was Liverpool versus Burnley on the match I was playing, and it got exciting when it said Fashanu kicks it to Haddock. Haddock passes to Ripley. Ripley takes a shot. Goalie dives for the ball, and then the game crashed. So I've no idea what happened.
You were lucky.
So that's all I got. So I don't know. There was a lot on the screen. I don't know. What it felt to me was like there was some key elements missing out of this. And by the sounds of it, because I never got any further than that, and I'm not going to, am I? As soon as I saw the first initial select your team, and it was just this big 40 long list of teams, I'm like, no, I don't want to. And it's just a different typeface. Same shit, different typeface. I was like, nah. Even with the weird Sabutio match view, whatever the hell that was, this has clearly got problems, and you've identified clearly what they are because you spent a bit more time than I did. But they're just, this is the 20th version of the game that they keep releasing. They keep releasing the same thing with different typefaces. Yeah. I admire that. Moxie, you're hired. I admire that. You've released the same game 20 times. You're hired.
I can only imagine they're competing against themselves in the market.
Well, they are. Which one shall I buy? Number one. They're number one.
And 2, and 3, and 7.
They're always the best at what they do because they're the only ones making this game now.
Yeah.
And the daft thing is that out of all the 20 iterations of this, 20 plus actually, that they've done, Football Manager's still out there going. That's the only one that is, I think. None of these survived, did they? So they obviously didn't get the formula right after 20 odd goes. Just stupid. It's just they saturate the shelves with football games because by process of elimination, someone's bound to buy one because there's the only 20 available. So they just don't. If amongst the sea of them and all the confusing titles, which is clearly done to obfuscate the fact that it's the same goddamn thing with different typefaces. Nah, it's just I get the business plan. I admire your Moxie, and I admire that level of dedication to creating typefaced lists. And I'm all for that. But no thanks. This is just count me out. And 80% get lost. This deserves nothing other than the 20%. If it's as you say, a non-functioning manager game, then it deserves 0 because it's not doing the very thing you'd be able to do. So, rubbish.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It don't make sense to not have ratings for players. That's just stupid.
I'll say this. I did like the typeface they used. There you go.
Let's have a look at it. I suppose it's okay.
Yeah, it's
That's just ripped out of another game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally taken off a demo or something like that. They didn't do that, but they have committed to a typeface, which isn't a difficult thing to do. You just, you can change the character set inside the C64 really easily. So it's not like that was a challenging thing. But you know what? They did do it. Fair enough.
They did do it. Yeah. There we go. The match. 80%.
No chance.
Oh God.
No.
I know I shouldn't get angry about 33-year-old terrible management games, but it's like, what were you thinking?
It's just
terrible.
Rubbish.
It's rubbish. There we go. That's our games for this week. That's our episode for this week. What did we look at? We looked at Chuck Rock. It's not a gold medal, but it's the best of the lot.
Yeah.
We looked at Rod Steiger.
Steiger.
It wasn't very good, that. DJ Puff's Volcanic Capers. I mean, it was all right. Too hard.
And too slow.
Too slow, yeah. The Addams Family, god-awful.
Pointless.
And the match, pointless again. Pointless. Just pointless.
Utterly pointless.
Well, what we got coming up next week? Next week, we had the 20 levels of the demo on the front cover. So we've got Bug Bomber.
Okay.
Whatever that will be. We've got Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Dear.
I have no idea what it's going to be like. We've got Bod Squad.
Okay.
Don't know. Oh, God. It falls to me against league football.
Yes.
It's going to be another shit cult shit. It is as well. I'm looking at it now. Oh, God. It's the same shit.
Is it more type-faced lists?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now on Lemon. Oh, look at this. Oh, my God, this cover.
Save that for when we have to discuss it.
I'll put it in. Jesus Christ. Oh. So I've got Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis League Football next week. And we've got Turbo the Tortoise.
I just happened upon the cover for the match then and just saw one of the Chuckle brothers having a hunchback moment. I'm gonna copy this. I'm just gonna put it at the end of the agenda because we've got the Steiger. We've got some stuff to look at. We have
bad covers that we're finding. Look at that one
for the next episode. Oh, God's sake! All right, I'm not saying anything until we talk about it in the next episode. Jeez.
Oh, dear, oh dear. Yep. So that'll be a laugh the end of next week. But there are games for it. And that's it. We're now down to less than double figures worth of episodes.
We are.
Nine left.
Nine.
Yeah, 9. So next week, 6 to 15, and we've got 8 after that. So, yeah, Bug Bomber, Indiana Jones, Bod Squad, League Football, Turbo the Tortoise. I'm sure there'll be a winner in there.
Yeah, let's find out.
We'll find out next week. I don't think I've got anything much to say. I think I'm quite demoralised by these.
I'm dry.
I honestly thought cult games had gone. We didn't see them for ages. I thought they'd just gone.
No, they like a rat.
Like black mold.
Like cockroaches, they just you think you've got rid of them, like cockroaches or something like that. Bed bugs. I don't know.
And they're back with these terrible covers.
They are.
There. You got anything you want to add, Graham, before we sign off?
No. I think there's been a little bit of a debate. I mean, obviously, I was quite irate when I did the review of the Seymour Goes to the Movies or whatever it was game, and there's been some comment about people have agreed. There's been some comment about whether it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and what other Spectrum games been converted in that way. And my point is this to those those statements is that my anger was not just a reflection of that game, but it was a reflection of that type of game, because we've seen so many and they've never developed it further than that. That's what annoyed me about that. I know the other playable crap and nonsense, but that's what annoyed me, is that you think it's acceptable to not just make it, of all the years of the C64 you've had, to make it just up the graphics, change it, make it medium res, do all those things. And even when they do that, Addams Family, they still don't get it right. Shocking.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think there's many programmers left at this point on the C64. So,
what episode when was everyone's a Wally?
Oh God, it's back in episode 9, is it, or somewhere way back in the day?
It's really early, isn't it? It's really early, and that's when you coined the phrase, 20 screens to the left to find the fish, to feed the fish to something, 20 screens back to the right. And in Spectrum-esque graphics, we still haven't moved on. We still have not moved on.
No.
And they're still doing it.
And the fact that they chose to convert a game like that, I think that was it was an expression of frustration. So I appreciate the feedback, maybe I went over OTT. I don't think I did. I stand by my comment. I know. I stand by my comment. When it comes to those things now, I've just gone full Gollum. I'm full end of Casino. All right, that's it. Sorry, but I am.
And that's like me with these football management games, because they just can't. They get it so wrong. That mechanic is so stupid. I've never come across anything like it.
They're neither football nor management, are they? That's the thing. So
no, they're not anything. They're just garbage.
Just typefaces. Which is good. I like typefaces.
Yeah, absolutely. It's different keys to press on the keyboard.
Yep.
It's marvellous. Anyway, there you go. Maybe things will pick up. Maybe things will get better. Still got 9 episodes left. We never know. We never know, indeed. So as ever, I think we'll sign off there.
Yeah.
And as ever, I have been Adrian Mills.
And I have been Graham Raddings.
And you've been listening to Zapped to the Past. And we will see you, hopefully, for some better games next week. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Zapped to the Past podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Commodore 64 games, as well as the music, films and TV from around the 1980s, driven, of course, by the issue of Zapped 64 magazine published at that time. We will return with a whole new batch of games and stuff to talk about next week. Until then, if you want to listen to or download previous episodes of Zapped to the Past, and why wouldn't you, they can all be found on our website at zappedtothepast.com, as well as being available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Player FM, and, well, pretty much anywhere where we can upload them. By the way, we do always love to hear from our amazing listeners, so if you'd like to contact us about anything in the podcast or beyond, you can do so by emailing us at zappedtothepast@gmail.com. We're also active on Twitter under @ZapTother, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and most social media platforms. Just search for Zapped to the Past and you'll find us. Oh, and if you like the podcast and what we're doing, please do like, share, review, rate us. It really helps. Something. Apparently, the Zapped to the Past podcast is written and produced by Adrian Mills and Graham Raddings and recorded at Flaky Bits 2.0 Studio. All opinions expressed are those of the writers, and while we indeed love Zap 64 magazine, the Zapped to the Past podcast is not affiliated with it in any way. Stay safe, see you next time, and remember, we play these games so you don't have to.